reality is, if this thing is true, we're all and if it's not, then this is the best sort of advertising that they could do. It's this, they've been doing this since the beginning, bro. Yeah. AI is gonna kill everybody, but believe us, we'll protect you from it. That's been their move since the beginning, Anthropic, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, I don't think it's changed much, to be honest with you.
No, I don't either, man. I don't either. I mean, yeah, I totally agree with everything you had to say there.
All right.
Essentially.
All right, man. We gotta let you go.
Yeah, we're gonna send it over there. We'll get ready momentarily. Oh, setting. All right. So yeah, guys. All right. You'll see me in a moment here.
All right, guys. Let's take a look at some of these small cap gappers. We're gonna give Neil a minute just to kind of set up there. Guys, Sidhu is looking really good right into that $0.75, dropping back a little bit now. An interesting area would be the 10 and the 20. In between the 10 and the 20, I should say, you can see the deeper retracements have all gone into that yellow line, which is a 20 exponential moving average on the 5. That could be a money buy here on SIDU. It is up nicely here on the day, about 16% and change. ONFO, though, ONFO, a name that I was shorting, is halted down into $1.47, but that ONFO level, don't get fooled just because it's halted down at 147. That 140 buyer, we could not shake. I was holding this one for a while, and we couldn't break through that 140 level, so be on the lookout for that. EVTL putting in lower highs, possibly coming back down into that volume-weighted average price. Let's see what the others are up to. Anything going on over here for PBM? PBM continues to put in lower highs. This fooled a lot of people on that reclaim of $8 and an attempted break through 9. But as you can see there through the trend line, still very much putting in lower highs. Watch out for a flat bottom break through 550. That level's been defended a number of times. All right, it's been great with you guys. See you guys for Friday. Tomorrow, last trading day. For the moment, we're going to send you over to Neil and Joey.
Thank you very much there, Sharif. And, oh, that's right, Joe's right next to me because he's working all day, everybody. All day, putting in that work, getting that work. And, okay, first of all, I did not eat all of these. I know what it looks like, but I had 2. They're delicious. We were sharing them with everybody in the office. So I don't want to hear any comments about how Neil's eating all these stupid treats. Now, granted, I ate 2, and I already have 2 in a Tupperware, 1 for my wife and 1 for my daughter. So again, I'm not stuffing my face with 2 dozen of these, they're like Taiwanese, like egg yolk-based treats. But anyways, should have an interesting afternoon. The market's trying to bounce off VWAP. Really, Robinhood? I just got out of Hood. I might want to get back into that. We'll see if that can hold VWAP. Disappointing second trend break. It was only really able to get into like 86.5, so it moved like 70 pennies or so. But that's all right. Fluffy hippo. Randy. You don't... Okay. Well, I got to talk to Randy. We got to have one. So one of the former traders, he'd remember you, but like it's another face. It was like years and years ago. I moved to Taiwan. Came back for a visit, wanted to say hi to Sean and myself. Obviously, of course, we haven't seen this guy in like a decade or half a decade, and he shows up today, Sean leaves for vacation. But yeah, they're like egg yolk-based Taiwanese pastries. There was a name for them. He tried to tell me, I'm like, I'm sorry. And he didn't want to come on camera either. Yeah, they're pretty good. They're tasty. Yeah, enjoy. Absolutely. There's literally a second box of them.
Give it a rating. We need
that's what I'm saying. So like, yeah, please.
We need a rating. We need a rating, Randy.
We always have to rate everything.
You gotta rate everything. Everything has to be rated.
Always.
What is the point of anything if it doesn't have a rating?
It's like I've never had. It's so unique. I've never had it before. It's tough because like there's. I want to say it was delicious. Like I want to say an 8.2, but man, I ate 2 of them. It's heavy. What's crazy, like I ate 2 of these, I felt more like stuffed than if I had like a big old apple fritter. So like they're pretty dense.
Can't eat them.
That's the best way to put it. And I don't, someone just said Wife's Cafe mooncake. I don't know. You guys tell me. I can show you
What
what
does that say? What does the writing on it say?
like I can show what the writing, because I genuinely, I don't know. If anybody recognizes what, I don't like, does this, anyone recognize this? He literally, he brought them in from Taiwan. Like he flew in and showed up.
Just to bring those, man. And you guys raking in.
He came to visit. A couple of other former traders have their own trading floor, like 30 minutes from here. He was there yesterday to say what's up to them. And yes, well, they say maybe it's a mooncake. Gotta be mooncake. I don't know. Maybe it's a mooncake.
Good, man.
Sounds like it could be. But yeah, sort of back to the markets here as we get into the swing of things. Looks like that latest headline, not that big of a deal for Palantir. Like it did, tank's not the right word. I mean, it fell, $1.50. It's right back into the volume weighted average price. You do have the cues. See, this is part of the reason why I jumped. Yeah, you know what? I was right to get out of Robinhood. But like you have the cues coming back in and trying to challenge the volume weighted average price. So maybe this was a good exit on Robinhood. Under VWAP, not really going. Robinhood's kind of the one I really like today for that dip buy. Didn't hold on to the initial one too far past VWAP. It is what it is. What is Bob's like, please give Joe a break? Wouldn't let him Joe, you have to understand, Joe has that like work ethic, right? Like some people, like you could try, but he's just like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm
not
good.
forcing anybody.
Yeah, it's hard. It's
young.
No, I will. Trust me. I'm gonna be eating some food. We'll be.
Did you get lunch?
I have it there. I haven't eaten it yet. But once we take care of a couple of things, then we'll best believe we're gonna be.
You're gonna you can eat on the show. Trust me. You got to get that.
Well, I'm going to be because I'm 8 hours here yapping all day. So we gotta take care of those things. You know what I mean? So yeah, brother. Whenever I'm good to rock and roll. Let's rock and roll. Let's get this day started. There's a lot going on. I mean, we're trading things. We had that nice scalp here on Robinhood. So let's see. I mean, we'll wait for a couple of things here. We had Tesla, the market. We had some volatility start to step in. So let's be patient and wait for some more opportunities. We have Power Hour coming up in about 15 minutes or so. So, I mean, guys, listen. There's a lot of things that we can talk about with trading, and there's a major difference between a good setup and a bad setup. But one thing that I want to focus on is that a lot of the setups can look exactly the same, and how you determine which one you take risk on and which one doesn't is a key metric.
And it's an important one because, stop me if you've heard it before, you got a gap up and it's like, oh yeah, we're going to buy the dip when everyone tries to get shaken out, and then we're going to let it rip. You might have heard a joke like that around here sometime. No, but in all seriousness, you can have two situations where you got a catalyst in a stock or in a space, in this particular case, between HIMS and SMR, and you have a strong day the day before, whether or not it moved, like in this particular case, sort of moving on later in the day to make some of the highs, or in SMR's case, it did a lot of the work early, but was able to sort of gain back those highs late. You gap up, right? So you have an outsized move in both cases, going even higher in the morning. You get some consolidation off of the top, and they look relatively similar. One of the trades that I like a lot of times is, okay, well, you gap up and you want to pull back into a frame of reference point. Like maybe you want to pull back into a prior high. Maybe you go out into a daily chart, and if you did so on SMR, you would have found like a 1240-ish level in here, or maybe you're looking all the way for a gap fill. And you look at what happens when you go for maybe a trend break, for the buy the dip and then rip in one or the other, and why one burns you and why the other is a little bit safer. And I kind of might have spoiled it, but let's have a look at what really ended up happening in both of these buying the dip. We've seen these chances where you can have that move, where did it go? Where you can have that move, and it really just starts, Fabian, when it really just starts fading you in the other direction, and you wonder, what's the big difference? Now, there's a couple of hints here. One of the hints would be, there we go. One of the hints would have been, over in HIMS, you have a gentle upward trend off of the open, or in the pre-market. Over in SMR, you've got a gentle downtrend. But if there's one thing that sticks out the most, when you fill in the gap, it's not about that it fills the gap, it's how it fills the gap. It's what happens in between that void on the way to the downside. In the case of SMR, you have a trend down. So when you're looking at it early, it looks good. But you have a trend down into a flat bottom break that not only hammers, but accelerates going into the bottom. In the case with HIMS, which ends up having a better look and a hold, well, when it comes back in and breaks that shelf, it puts in a range. Now you're going to be able to look here. Actually, your close right around there, not actually at the highs. It's going to bounce off the close, come all the way back up, slam, and put in a pretty solid lower high. Like what it shows you is the first void isn't the only void. So one of those two gives you a reason to activate the dip buy because it holds that range, shows that there's buyers in there, and then you don't even have to sit in front of that falling knife. Now, ultimately, SMR eventually bounces. I actually end up shorting it on the other way to get the money back. But even though it bounces, it doesn't really show anything at that closing price. And as a matter of fact, when it comes back in, you end up looking for the short at that same previous close. So it's not just about that it filled the gap. Sometimes in this case, it's about what happens inside of that gap on the way to that prior close. You're going to mark off that prior close, but you don't have to just sit on the bid and get run over. Oftentimes, you look for what happens there and then pounce. And it gave you a hint early, and then it made it obvious later, Joe.
Like the point that Neil brought up here, it's what happens inside the gap. There's multiple things that we can tell, hey, are we going to continue this downslide or are buyers going to start to step back in? What is the tape telling us and what is the volume telling us as well too? So when you're looking for the difference in between setup A and setup B and what Neil was essentially explaining to us between HIMS and SMR is how is price reacting as it enters those specific levels. And that can be a good teller of this is going to be an A quality setup, a B quality setup, or even potentially a C quality, which you may not even put any risk on at that point.
Time, everybody. I just want to show this because of what ended up happening. Sometimes what you can also look at is if it's a failed trade and you happen, let's look, maybe you catch the bottom. Maybe you catch the bottom here, or you're looking for like a short opportunity, like where a move might turn. The first place where the bad one bounces, where the sellers re-engage and win, like that's where the first trap long comes in, the second trap long here, which I fell for, I'll admit myself. But if you fall for the first one in here, you then find an interesting resistance point a lot later on. It's like considering that opening range trade. It just becomes a great reference point. And then on the other side, on the one that's strong, you look at that bounce level where you find the initial resistance on the ground. Remember, this is a strong one. There's its resistance. When I took a fade on it, this is where I'm starting to think the buyers can come back in. So you also want to have a frame of reference for those key price levels that the open told you.
Stuff. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with Neil, with everything Neil had to say there. You have almost, we're not going to call it identical catalyst, but you have something strong and a potential tailwind for both of those names, and then yet they have different reactions, and it's our job to be able to identify which essentially can be a high quality or a good setup or something that looks very similar but isn't as good. So pointing specifics out is going to be key and help you put on some profitable trades. And that's exactly what we're looking for. Two different names, two different catalysts, identical setups, and they go in different directions.
Exactly. It's like you have two delicious, straight out of like the oven pizzas. And I'm not talking about no like pizza. I'm talking like legit, like that good that you would get in like Italy. And one of them is just littered with these little sweet and yellow pieces of fruit, and the other one isn't. And sometimes you have to decide, I know which one is going to be a better slice and which one is worth my time to chomp on. And that's the reality. It's the same way in trading. It looks the same. It might even smell the same. But pineapple on pizza is unnecessary for all reasons. at all times. All right, moving back. Whatever, man. I shouldn't even be thinking about food. I gotta get these away from me at some point because I don't want to start eating. They're really delicious, but they're so heavy. It's kind of intense. I'm starting to think if we continue to lose VWAP, when I first sat down, well, when we were first starting the afternoon, like my brain was more on the lines of the VWAP bounce play, and I was looking for like a continuation long somewhere. I was looking at Robinhood. And then all of a sudden, like we lose VWAP. Maybe NVIDIA could be a way to go. That's still making lower highs. I don't know how much I love this AMD. AMD's pulling into VWAP. So what I like about the potential for AMD is at least like it's pulling into the volume weighted average price as we're blowing through. So if we catch a turn, maybe that could be good. I'm trying to find the right name, but I don't want to necessarily rush into anything. There were some bullets dodged. And I'm glad I didn't take it. Was never really that interested in the IPOs today, but yeah, thankfully, let's just say it was probably a good day not to have taken the opening print on an IPO. Opening print, 38 on ARXS. It eventually bottomed out $3 later. Almost no chance that if you took the opening print, you're any good. And this is sort of, when you hear us decide, like Sean and myself, we'll sort of tell you guys, this is why I like this one, the sector it's in, or the oversubscription. And we'll have those feels, and we'll be saying it all morning long. I'm taking the opening print on this, and we'll be talking about it all morning. And then when we're not talking about them, I'm not saying you couldn't have found a long over here, and then MAIR, which is, this was the one that was like the air purifying, whatever. Doesn't matter. You got rinsed on that one if you took the opening print too. So neither one of these ended up good. If you're willing to buy the dip, like find the bid and sort of trade it traditionally, that's not really like the edge trade that we love and we usually make the most on. So neither one of these fit the bill. Granted, they'll be up because they're over the issue price, and you definitely had a chance here. And Mayor, watch out for the 32. It opened at 32. It broke it once briefly for 10 cents and has rejected it. So that would be a key price there on MAIR, the second of the halters. I know there's some small cappers out there. Maybe that's worth a look. I see Bill Dahlbeck says that RPGL, Republic Power, what is it? Oh, that's a penny one? That's not halted. It's just not doing any volume right now. So this isn't halted. It's not moving. Not a lot of volume over there. We did have yesterday, there was, of course, that really fun and ridiculous Allbirds. It's not doing anything. There was one bounce here that you could have had into VWAP, but that's looking all quiet. Oddly enough, we've been seeing USO trend up the most of the day. This is the only time it's looked a little different. Like if I try to do this, like it's sort of breaking the trend. This is another reason why I was thinking we'd get maybe a VWAP bounce here that is just not happening, is that USO was kind of trading the other direction, and that's what I like to get along. But I don't know, the NASDAQ just doesn't want to seem to catch a bid yet. So I'm going to be a little bit patient, see if I can't find something strong. It might not be Hood. Maybe it'll be like a SoFi. Yeah, you're going to like that chicken. Well, you know what? I shouldn't even say you're going to like the chicken because I find we never really know. It was delicious today.
That's good.
I'm just saying. Right? Yeah, it was tasty. I mean, the veggies were, the vegetables are always good.
I think so.
That's like the most consistent thing here. It's like every single, there's certain vegetables I don't eat, but man, it's delicious.
You like
every
zucchini?
single day. I love zucchini.
Okay.
It's really just, I have a preference for, I just don't like broccoli and cauliflower and Brussels sprouts. I'll eat cauliflower. The other two I won't, but I'll gobble everything else up. Like my wife makes fun of me, even Sean makes fun of me, the fact that I just sit there, I'll eat kale like it's going.
Kale?
Like raw kale. I love it.
Each their own. I mean,
yeah, you like what you like. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. For me personally, I love broccoli. It's one of my favorite vegetables. Cauliflower tacos as well. Those aren't too bad.
Cauliflower tacos.
Yeah, for vegetarians, so you get those.
Okay.
Hold on, guys. I'm just telling you something. But yeah, aside from that, we had a couple good trades, right? Like I'll pull them up here momentarily. That one on Robinhood worked really well. I would have liked to hold a little bit more, to be honest with you, through that low.
1 second. Can I guess what you would do on Robin? Short or long?
I went short.
Okay, then I'm gonna make a guess because his screen's not up, so I'm gonna guess without actually, and I know I'm like 99.9% sure that you were short at 87.40.
Dude, I wanted that. I took the next leg down. I had the next short.
So you had the short?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Do you know why I was able to guess that? Because that's the short I wanted.
You wanted that short?
No, because I just wasn't.
Yeah, that's why I missed that when I was gonna post up there, Neil, but then I didn't, so I had to wait, and the momentum really started to pick up, and then I'm like, oh, I missed it, but then we had that pullback, it looked relatively weak, and then that's like, all right, this is our time to engage, and I was fortunate enough to get that second leg to the downside. I see you went long there as well.
What's crazy is I went like long lose, long half win, trail up break even, long back in that worked, long back in good. Like it gets weird because sometimes, and I say this all the time, the way I like to describe a chart like this is when one of these is if this is your best stock on the day, I always call it getting away with one. Like it was like fine, I didn't try, we get out, I didn't average in, get into that one, get right out, get in, take some profit, don't hold it past the stop, wait for it to make a couple double bottoms, more patient, take the longs into VWAP. Same thing, wait for it to break trend. Like I followed all the rules today, but the stock was a short. Like it doesn't, like the dip by one, but the stock was a short. And this is where I try never to have like too much bias, but every now and then that's just the truth. It was a it was a break of the high, failed break of the high, and then it came back down. Probably really should have had that short. I'm wondering if maybe I should be looking at that 87 because this is where we closed around 87. And if we're holding that for an afternoon play, maybe a fail of 87. Not really seeing any strength in the NASDAQ here. I'll double check Palantir because, okay, that's back under VWAP. Because I feel like that should be in play. And if I connect these dots from those highs, it goes right into VWAP. You're consolidating after Adara brought us the reason why we dropped $1.50 here. Yeah, I think this one makes some sense. This one makes some sense.
Palantir.
C. Jason Du asked, I missed it earlier, did you get a piece of SMR? Not the way that you think. I had a couple of short scalps on it to basically just claw back with the one long that didn't work. Yeah, it's just, when you're looking at a level like this, you have to be willing, like I took multiple shots on Robinhood. I guess I just liked Robinhood better. I suppose that's probably the only thing I can say. I don't have a good reason for not having it long here. I guess I just liked Robinhood better. So that's my answer. I tried it when it bounced off this support the first time. It didn't work. It gave the bottoming tail. That's an entry right there. Same price, same stop, and it would have worked out. But I didn't take it because I took Robinhood. So I don't know what to tell you. Like, and I know people are like, oh, but you said you were buying that dip. Sometimes that's what's going to happen. At the exact moment when one sets up, so does another, and you just have to choose which one you're going to do. And I just liked Robinhood better. I suppose they would have both worked out. I don't think it would have made a difference.
How was it?
Yeah, I don't think it would have made a difference what I did in that particular case. And sometimes that's fine. It just means that both setups ultimately were okay. Right, AMD's not really into VWAP just yet. What am I doing with this Palantir? Can I get in now if I get 42s? I don't think I can get 42s here. If it can come anywhere close to the 42 level, I want to look for this consolidation short in PLTR. That could make sense. Tesla, I'll have a quick look over there. I saw, Tesla through VWAP.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. That flat bottom break almost there, Neil, right at the volume weighted average price. Like you can see right at VWAP, you're holding up. There's a key support level right there. And then now we're starting to breach it to the downside. So there's going to be some good opportunities here. You can see that Palantir is moving and continuing to slide. There's a flat bottom that's being formed here as well too. So maybe if this breaks, you head into that next key pivot, and that could be that 41.23. I like the short here on Palantir. Let me get involved in this and see if we can get something rocking and rolling on Palantir.
Yeah, like that's exactly the one. Like it's breaking down right now.
Yeah, it's big time breaking down.
Break that 50. I would still rather get 142 than have to take a break of 140. The other, I was just having a quick look. I think Bitcoin is setting up for one as well. Look, if I get picked up, I get picked up. Bitcoin is coming into some highs. And the other thing to keep in mind is like no matter what your thesis is, I said this morning, it would be one of those days where a willingness to flip, if you had a key price level that was, like if it was like a long that didn't work, that you have to respect that for a short. So when this long didn't work, when we came into the same level and I thought we're then weak, it turned into a short setup. Same area, same price, but today's a flip day, flip kind of day. I guess I'm not getting those 142s on Palantir after all. I'll move to 80s if we can. But I like this here potential for a bit of a breakdown on IBIT, because I can maybe short this to that local high. Oh, I see what you guys.
Yeah, I'm trying to
get set up. Get set up.
We'll figure that.
Everybody
out.
remember, like Joe's been. The thing about the setup that we have is like you sit at. Obviously, like Sean, I get to sit at our desk like on a regular basis.
Yeah, exactly. No,
like Joe has to log out and move over to a separate desk, get set back in, get logged back in.
Don't worry. First, things will get a little bit more smooth in the near future. We didn't get that flat bottom break quite yet on Palantir, but we're going to hold on to this a little bit here, guys, to see if we can get that move here. I mean, it's starting to rebound pretty aggressively. We're in at 59s, pops up to 70s. Totally fine. Like, we're half risk unit. We're going to hold this for a lot longer. We can give this all the way back to this pivot high and just be totally fine on that front. So let's see if we get the breakdown. I think so on the higher time frames, starting to display itself as well. So, I mean, you just have to be patient. Market just did a complete turnaround on today's session, so I think Palantir at some point is going to head towards, you get that curl over, you have that support level that's being breached, and then you have the market continuing to slide. The NASDAQ putting in a low here, a new 5-minute low. We're not quite near the low of the day, but at this pace, like I think we're going to go and test it. You want to see how we react. I felt that this morning we just moved too quick, too fast, and that's essentially why I was thinking short, Neil, is because it's like, hey, we had those strong couple of sessions. Yesterday, extremely strong bounce off of VWAP and just complete buy program. Same thing with Wednesday or with Tuesday, and just a strong Monday, the exact same thing. So at some point, you're going to see somewhat of an aggressive pullback, and I wouldn't even call it that. Right? Like, are we still holding on to positivity? Like, what are we? TQs are still up 0.13. Palantir's down 1/3%. So
yeah, that's not
in the grand scheme of things, this isn't bad whatsoever. And I think you have to be patient. I don't think the pullbacks are going to be insane here today, but I think we can head a little bit lower on the session.
That's what it feels like. Like, I don't think we're going to hold on to this green. It doesn't really look like it. One name that is actually strong is HIMS. HIMS is pressing through the high of the day. Sometimes it be like that. That one's the upward trend. The only trade I have is a short. Is what it is. But if we are going to catch a bounce, at least this gives you something. I might want to try to fade that one, but it doesn't feel like it's the right move in here. Jack is saying, look at Xanadu. Xanadu. What do I remember? Where do I remember that from? Not that I know the stock. It's a song. Thank you there. Assassino in my ear. Oh, wow. This could be coming back heavily. That's a multi-day, like, look at it, stretch, hold trend, kind of, whoops. That, hold trend, barely break at the end of the day. This time it's definitely breaking. Yeah, that looks a little bit dicey. Bit of a spread, a little spready on that one, if you're into that sort of thing. Or Dara's not at her desk. Then certainly would be for you. But that looks to me like it's breaking down with the market. Was trying to find something that was relatively strong. I'm not in Palantir. I did get IBIT. Ryan saying, look at SMCI.
Shout to him.
That just broke the high of the day. Oh, that's okay. I see what you're saying. No, my first thought was looking at that chart. Why would I want to short this? And then I went to the daily chart, because it's just tagged the 50 period right back into prior support. So this would be like a kind of a reversal level. The one caveat with a reversal level like that on a daily chart is it's not always so simple the day of. Like, if we fail this today and come back in here tomorrow and we're at 27.5, then yeah, I'll probably be looking short tomorrow morning on SMCI. But just because it gets there intraday doesn't mean it's some automatic turnaround spot.
Yeah.
Because like the time frame matters. It's the key level on the higher time frame, but like the confirmation that it's failed the higher time frame also kind of exists on the higher time frame, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely. I mean, here it is, right? Like, we're bouncing off of this support level at 41.50.
It won't break.
Yeah, on Palantir.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not breaking just yet. I think at some point we will, especially if the momentum to the downside continues. IBIT bouncing off of the volume weighted average price for the umpteenth time. But I think at some point, like, hey, again, you're going to have this kind of ebb and flow. It's going to try to grab some people. But if we look at it from a daily, looks pretty weak. So a little absorption, and then maybe we can potentially break that level. If it does, I think we can head towards at 41.24, and then maybe even south. But first things first, you don't want too aggressive of a bounce just like that. So that's not a good sign for a breakdown, especially when you have strength to really start to step in on the tape that can say, hey, we head to the support level, and it's going to act as that base, and you might not get that move in which you're looking for. So an additional clean move as the market is taking a little bit of a bounce as well. So we have to be patient and wait for this one. We gave it plenty of room in order for us to find a potential trade, for it to stop us out, and then we wait for that curl over. I'm not going to average into it or anything along those lines because it's Palantir. I feel like we should have broke, and what I'm seeing from a volume standpoint, I'm not overly worried about it, to be honest with you. So let's see if we can get that breakdown in Palantir. The market, it's just been, ever since those headlines came in earlier today, the market just went back to become an absolute choppy mess. Like here, nice and orderly, and then after this has just been wick here, wick there. So you really got to widen your stop and give yourself some good opportunity.
Absolutely. And speaking of good opportunities, we're seeing some updates out of Orogenics. That's ticker OGEN on the NYSE American. The company has now activated its phase 2A clinical trial in Australia, with its first site fully operational and patient dosing expected next. They're developing ONP002. An intranasal treatment targeting concussion and mild traumatic brain injury, an area where there are currently no FDA-approved therapies. Alongside that, Orogenics has spent the past year strengthening its balance sheet, raising capital, resolving liabilities, and restoring exchange compliance. The focus now shifts to execution, with clinical progress underway and additional CNS assets under evaluation. Shout out to Orogenics, good cause if I ever saw one. And when we had them on the show, Pat LaFontaine, Buffalo great. What are the opening round matchups in hockey? I don't even know.
I have no idea. I stopped watching once the league.
Oh, it's like that, eh? Under 500? Yeah.
But I knew from the get-go, as soon as they had that weak start, I'm like, you know what, these guys aren't it.
They aren't it? No. It's disappointing.
They were never it, to be honest with you. They're the kids, Neil, who got paid like they did it right out of the gate, and they never did it, right? So they just never really had that dog in them, to be honest. Some people are built like that, some people aren't, and they just weren't.
Yeah, it's not all. It's like the one of the myths I don't like in sports is the whole like contract your best year. Not everybody is like that, man. Not everybody is like that. Some dudes are like just hardcore grinders, whether they've been paid or whether they're not.
Yeah, exactly, and unfortunately,
there are Anthony Rendon baseball.
Regardless of how much he's paid, he's just a dog, right? It's in the DNA.
No.
He's the opposite.
Oh, yeah, he's opposite. That dude
got
paid. That dude was like an MVP level player. He got paid, and then all of a sudden, like
I'm telling you this right now.
I'm going to hit my enter key to put my stop order in. Shoot, Joe, I can't do the rest of the show. I think I just I got like a hangnail now.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think.
Oh no, he's one of those guys. Yeah, that's too bad.
But he could fight a fan when you trash talk him. Anyways, can you tell that I had him? Can you tell him I had him in fantasy? Like I had this guy on my dynasty league.
Oh really?
He was an MVP level player, and then all of a sudden he got paid, and then he was like the worst player. Yeah. Okay, so I'm now into this on Palantir. So we didn't get the flat bottom break, which I was gonna take, but I say we a lot. You know I mean me. This trend, if it breaks, it's breaking VWAP, and I'm out. Don't really see, IBIT's looking okay. That SMCI, I'm glad we didn't take a shot at this because SMCI actually looks quite strong for sure. I don't know, maybe this Palantir story isn't that big of a deal, but it's still on trend. Like I said, I wanted 142. I ended up, I chased it a little bit, so when I added to it, I ended up with like 94. It's still not terribly far away from the price that I wanted. The idea was to risk about 50 pennies. It'll be about 55, it looks like. Yeah, stop is in. IBIT's the same place it was before. Let us know what you guys are looking at. Just to let you guys know, Netflix reports after the bell. We're expecting them at 4. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to stick around for Netflix earnings. We're just going to go through. Yeah, we'll go through, get the numbers. Adara's clapping. She'll have them for you. So we'll probably do like the regular at some point, a little closer to the close. The expected move, what's happening on the stock, get the immediate reaction. It's not one of those days where we have like 5 crazy names reporting, but there's enough interest in Netflix, and we know what you guys want, so we'll stick around for Netflix. DLV sound saying short CRV, CoreWeave. I don't feel like I don't know, I'm in 2 shorts. I don't really love either one of them at the current moment. They set up, neither one of them.
Your Palantir as well, too?
Okay. Yeah, I did like the flat bottom break. It didn't happen.
It bounced. I've seen the tape.
It bounced, but it hasn't broken this trend line. So the idea was to be short 42 to here, right? So then like the stop is above the 50, so like risk 50 cents to there, and then you're 1-to-1 at the flat bottom break, so that if the flat bottom break goes, you can sort of let it go and have the chance to trail it back through that. That's the idea in my head, but it's looking pretty strong as we speak. Roof says Sidhu's at highs. Wow, Sidus. This stock, it's so good that it just wants to hide itself. It's like, I'm not gonna let you see me. You can't see me.
Yeah, that thing's going absolutely.
Is this a 52-week high or like an all-time high? It can't be an all-time high because it's probably one of those crazy, whoops, I want a 3-month. What's going on, Sidhu? Where are we? Oh, God. Why did I even do a 3-month chart? That's just ridiculous. Yeah, let's go to a week. A weekly's also ridiculous. Are you kidding me? With 1 split? This is real? Seriously, Sidhu? All right, well, that's completely useless. Let's go to a daily chart on Sidhu. I'm just trying to find some levels for you guys. So I guess this is it's not an all-time high, as was hilariously discovered by me just 2 seconds ago, but it is still a breakout. You can judge for yourself the past on this one, but the momentum's pretty real. I have it as at the top, not breaking it. Currently, like the current high up there at about 80 to 83 cents or whatever it might be. I have that as like that current high or the prior high on the daily, so it's not really a breakout just yet. The Qs are back to the volume weighted average price. This is like the put up or shut up point, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Like if we curl here, then I'm kind of happy with both names. But if we bust out, I'm thinking maybe AMD. Yeah, I'm thinking AMD. If there's a long AMD, clean trend down, it would be a VWAP bounce. I think that's the one. Tesla maybe.
Yeah, Tesla's climbing higher right back into VWAP as well. I mean, we have Hood here where we had that short earlier on in the day. It's not quite at the volume weighted average price, but we can go through a couple of the larger names to see how they've been performing on today's session to see like where we're currently sitting at, which can be a massive teller in which the direction the NASDAQ is going to go. So you have NVDA still channel here. We'll pull this up. You can see that we have this consistent channel to the downside, boom, off to the races, and then now we're climbing back. So that channel trading, it can be a little bit more difficult at times. AAPL, full recovery, been holding the volume weighted average price for quite some time now. It broke off of that low. We tried it down in this neck of the woods. It broke down, absorbed more liquidity, and then off to the races it went. And then the exact same thing with Google. Google's at the lows of the day, nice indecision print off of that low, slowly starting to climb higher now. We might have to get out of this Palantir because it's not breaking down. It's starting to, you get that volatility spike. You think you're going to head a little bit lower. It holds that level at 141.60 to a T, and then essentially just didn't move as the market's rebounding as well too. So the choppy channel trading is in full effect. Microsoft climbing, so that's probably going to drag the overall market up with it. We have Amazon here as well. Nice hammer candle on the 5-minute time frame and finding a nice rebound. Now, as for Amazon, you can see it on the lower time 5-minute and the 1-minute. Meta, how's that been performing? Starting to find a rebound as well. And then there goes Palantir up to 142.25. Yeah, it's done. As soon as it breaks, I'm out of that trade. So I'm not going to hold on to it much longer.
Davis ER, think NBIS continuation, pullback, or reversal? Continuation, comma, yeah, okay. Punctuation. Although I get it. Do I think continuation, pullback, or reversal? I want to know time frame. Let me just update first because you see the super chat. We can get back to it. So it would be relatively simple. Trend breakdown, prior bar out. Looks like that one doesn't want to go. I'm still looking for maybe AMD as a long. I'm not in it yet, but we're out of one of the shorts and the market's getting through VWAP. I'm thinking AMD is going to go. So I just want to be ready for this. And again, I'm just looking at this trend line, break that trend line, and then I'm looking long in AMD. So back to NBIS, I'm going to make the assumption here that we're talking about the daily chart, because that seems more obvious to me. I don't know that you can call this a huge, like this doesn't look like a failed break of the high. Like it didn't really pull back to even test support. Like you break the high, pull back, hold this close. Break the high, pull back, hold a higher low. So there's still an hour left in the day, but it's holding a higher low into these sort of quote unquote false breaks. So that's fine, but that's still kind of bullish. It's like a bullish consolidation more than anything else is what this looks like to me. There's still the risk. Like, there's plenty of time in the day. If this fails here and we close at like 156, then yeah, at that point it looks like a bit of a fail. But it still looks pretty solid. Like if I was in, like when I'm trading something like this, I usually think if you've got like a 200 period bounce or like the 50 period or the alt or that break, like it hasn't really done much to get you out that I've seen. That would probably be closer to the 156 because you have to, when these are extended, I don't know. Like that measured like from here, 90 to the prior high was $40, so it's gone one. Like it's done one move, right? So like $40 there, $40 there. It's like if it takes out that top, technically it should have a little bit more possible room to rally. So yeah, that feels like it's still in a consolidation more than anything else. But again, that's just what I see. It doesn't have to mean anything to anybody. Something else bouncing better? Like the market's bouncing nicely. AMD's not bouncing. Maybe NVIDIA's. Yeah, NVIDIA looks better. Forget about AMD. NVIDIA's actually moving and AMD is not. Let's go to Adara.
Yeah, just keep an eye here on Ford. Not much of a move here, but this is a story that could get interesting when you get President Trump's meeting with President Xi next month. Wall Street Journal reporting that Ford is going to be partnering with Chinese automakers overseas. Again, I don't know which automakers will pull up some of these Chinese EVs that trade here. Not too much of a move here on NIO. Here is Li, also not too much of a move, and then XPeng. Either way here, guys, again, Ford reportedly planning on partnering with more Chinese automakers overseas. We did get a little bit of a spike in XPEV a couple of minutes ago. Unclear if it's related. Back to you.
Thank you very much there, Adara. You know what?
Do you notice that
chart that Ford, be honest.
that the salad dressing tastes like liquor or something?
What? Huh?
Yeah, I'm getting that vibe from the salad dressing. Huh?
I didn't notice that.
That's how I feel about it, maybe.
Salad dressing tastes.
I'm just saying, it kind of does. Like somebody put something in there.
Does it though? Does it
man.
Really?
From a dry individual.
I didn't love. I mean, I wasn't the biggest fan of the salad dressing, but I didn't think it tasted like liquor. It did. First, yeah, no. That's
rubbing alcohol or something.
Rubbing alcohol. If my salad dressing tasted like rubbing alcohol, I'd probably like pitch it. Like I'm not. That's.
I'm.
But it wasn't. No, but it wasn't balsamic vinegar. Everybody. It was more of like an Italian. It was like like Italian like yellow dressing. I don't know exactly what.
I think the Mexican dressing that they use is the best, whatever that one is. I'm sick of all of these vinaigrettes, to be honest with you, Neil.
Maybe somebody spiked your.
I think it was Randy did bring me it, so who knows what Randy was up to. What was bringing me the food. I thought Ramin was gonna warm it up for me, but
that sounds legitimately suspect.
I do like cilantro. Dijon.
That's very suspect in my opinion.
Would that Randy brought it to me?
No. What? Come on, man. Randy's good people.
Yeah, obviously Randy's great people.
No, it sounds very suspect. Very, very suspect.
All right.
For sure. Oh, look at this. I love seeing it. Look, I went into this big talk about community and everything for the lesson of the day. Where'd it go? And then Noon Loon. That's what I love to see. Noon Loon, I trade the Forex too.
Okay.
It's what I love about the community. Like, I don't think we've ever even, we probably never even look at any of the currency. Like, what pairs do you trade?
I wouldn't even know. Yeah, exactly.
Because it's crazy. Like, we have them. The only time I've ever traded the currencies So when they added Forex here at Real Trading, like so we're at the head office, right? So like if you were like the risk manager or manager at the head office, you do beta testing sometimes. So when the company got the CME, I was like myself and another guy were the first 2 people to ever trade the CME. We beta tested it, and then we beta tested Forex. Sean and I got to beta test when they added crypto. So like we're the first ones putting on just to be like, is it working? What would you? Nitty.
So you can pull up a pair right now and trade it if you.
Yeah, like what do you? I'm pretty sure I'm still entitled. Let's go. Okay. Oh, there's minis too. Yeah, there's like USD CAD, whatever. I typed in USD and the first thing that came up was USD CAD.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, I was never one to get into Forex.
Yeah, so you can trade them. We have quotes and it's a different asset class here, Real Trading. So like anything else, like you'd have to build it up, but that's what it is. Like there's all kinds of opportunities, and certainly right now, I guess we're not really caring too much about Forex. Yes, there might be, like the dollar might be moving, but that's probably mostly because of what's going on in Iran more than anything else. And USO's still coming down. Yeah, this is exactly what makes me feel like I should be looking for a long bounce. If we're gonna get all the way to VWAP, that might be the better place to go. AMD's still a nothing burger.
Yeah. IBIT's climbing higher though. Like IBIT's not too far off of its high of the day, to be honest with you.
Crypto's strong.
Yeah, crypto's really strong here.
Maybe
we get this breakdown in.
Oh, Hood double bottomed.
Did it? Yeah, I mean the market's rebounding. Let's see if it starts to curl over here. But I'm thinking on the 5-minute, it would be great if it slowly starts to curl over, you break down and head back right in towards that low end of the range here on Palantir. Didn't break VWAP, so no reason for me to get out just yet. I did add a little bit more into the position. Typically don't do that, but I was like, all right, we'll come up to this pivot. I have a feeling that we're going to curl over. But as soon as it reaches the volume weighted average price, then I'm just going to get out of the trade. So,
if I say pivot, do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
I didn't even watch. Assassino knows. He said Friends, and I don't even like Friends.
I don't like Friends.
And I didn't watch the show, but I still know that line. My wife was a big fan of Friends.
I liked out of like that style of sitcom. I liked How I Met Your Mother the most.
Yeah, it's because. Yeah, but like that's the classic example. Well, I don't know. I like that show too, but that's a classic example of a show that I liked every character on it, with the exception of the main character.
Barney?
Barney's not the main character, dude.
Who's that?
Hold on, you're asking who
dude,
the main character
of like?
Yeah, but.
Like Neil Patrick Harris?
No, but Ted is the main
character.
Yeah,
Ted.
It's just that no.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Barney's.
I wouldn't remember Ted. Was he Barney? I just would just
Barney is the whole reason to watch the show.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say he's the whole reason, literally, to watch the show. Ted. I mean, never mind Ted. MPH.
Fabian, can they hear you when you're speaking? Okay, so Fabian's saying a lot of inappropriate stuff in my ear. 100%. And I'm like, yeah, you come on, man.
What are you saying, man?
Bruh, figure it out. I'm just saying, like, no, but it was a great show. Ted was terrible. Whatever. It's not the actor's fault. It was it's the character. The character.
It's the same thing with Seinfeld. Like Seinfeld and Friends, I just couldn't really get into. I tried, but it didn't work.
What did you say about Seinfeld?
You don't even have anything for that.
What did you say about Seinfeld?
I just said I couldn't get into it. Hey man, no, I feel like it's like people who love Seinfeld. People who don't, like myself, just don't really like it.
I bet you'd love Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I watched a couple episodes of that, Parks and Rec.
I find some people that didn't like Seinfeld were like, yeah, but then they love Curb, which is I find it to be similar humor, but I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
What else is? I'm just looking for something which is going like I wish I could tell you Palantir was doing something different. It's not. PLTR sits after the trend break, still got the 42s. It comes in, doesn't break VWAP, hasn't retested the low for the flat bottom break. AMD is in this tight range for the last 20 minutes, not doing a thing. I was just looking over at Robinhood, which I'd love for this to be maybe break out above VWAP, but it gets to VWAP and it stalls out. HIMS is strong. But then what did HIMS just do? HIMS just did a bit of a reversal candle off the top and now putting in a lower high. Like if anything, that like it's starting to set up a short on HIMS. Yeah, maybe. This is starting to look like it could be a short on HIMS, if only because it did get to like this prior high. Great day for HIMS, by the way, 13%.
Yeah.
Up at the top.
And then what was the other name we went over today? So SMR.
SMR. Like at that open, just the way we said this whole time. Like there was, anyone that's been around long enough, you've been watching the show long enough, there was certainly a time where I was like way more guilty of, I like this level, this is my technical thing. Yeah. I have to take a shot at 12. But if my plan is I like the upward momentum of the stock, I like the daily chart, all that kind of good stuff, just because I happen to like that, I no longer just jump in onto the bid when it doesn't look good. I find like you have to really sort of wait for your spots. And yeah, I should have had it there and I took Robinhood instead. I get it. That was obviously I don't think it was a mistake. It was just a timing thing. Like you're in one, like I'm eyeballs on Robinhood and catch that bid at basically the same time SMR is bouncing. So you kind of flip from one to the other, which is more my style. Because the way I see it is, if I see something that looks better, I'm gonna move from the one that doesn't work to the thing that looks better. Yeah. And if the one that doesn't work starts to work, like what? I don't care. Because I'd rather get away from it because it looked weaker in the moment. And if that ends up not being true, that's fine. I can live with myself.
Fair enough.
Palantir's starting to come back in.
Yeah, I'm gonna see. I'm trying to hold this, to be honest with you. It didn't break VWAP. I want to hold it towards at least this 51 level, Neil, as the 5-minute candles are slightly bearish.
Yeah.
So this is ideally what I'm looking for. We have these consistent lower highs. You bounce off of it. We're fortunate enough it didn't break VWAP. Otherwise, we would have had to take a hop out of that trade. But now 56 is going to be my primary target, right? So let's see if we can get into that zone. We're printing 84s right now. One clean swoosh, an aggressive, you have a strong seller step in, it can push price a little bit lower. So we're printing 86, 87s right now, 85s to be exact. And then sure enough, let's see if we can get that breakdown. There you go. We get a clean move to 81s. It's extremely volatile. Like, I mean, if we're looking at the tape on this name, I'm watching it print like 10 cents higher, 15 cents higher. People who are just hitting at above the ask are just getting absolutely rinsed on their entry price. So be cautious on that one. Palantir, not a name that I typically trade, but looking for the breakdown. If we do sit on the 5-minute on the backside of that trend, then we just get out of the position altogether. I mean, we did bounce a little bit off of that 87 mark, with the low of approximately 81 on this. So, I mean, it's either it's going to break down or it's not, or decide to rip. The market's choppy.
Ooh, USO's coming into VWAP.
USO strong. All right, let's take a look at.
No, weak. It's pulling back into VWAP. That's going to be.
That's going to be a massive teller, right? Like if the USO.
If it breaks VWAP, that's a big.
Yeah, if USO is moving lower, you might see some upticks in the overall market. So, yeah, Robinhood was definitely one of the better ones here today.
I feel like that might be the thing. You just bounce off. You go, yeah, I'm going to go back to Robinhood. I like that one. It's right at that volume weighted average price. If we break down, if USO breaks down, I think I'm going into the Robinhood long. But the context of doesn't really even matter. Like the context of what's really happening this afternoon, regardless of even if this market does pull back and we end up maybe closing a couple 100 points down, it'll still be a nothing burger. Like look at the work that got put in recently. Like we'd be consolidating the high of the day. Thank you for the, and I know that's from TikTok, I can tell. Larry's Mobile Detail, thank you so much for the gift. And we appreciate all of our TikTok viewers. And thank you for tuning in on TikTok. It's a great community. Regardless, hope everyone is doing well today. Yeah, it's a weird one because like for me, it's a good day trading, but I cannot get past the fact I don't like it if the stock that is the reason why I'm up, I had wrong, if that makes sense. Like, okay, so Robinhood was really good today for me, but like I was wrong on it. Just, if I had been short, you'd be like 3-4 times better if I'd been looking for the shorter, but I've been only looking, I'm still looking for the long on Robinhood. I'm actually looking to want to go long through the volume weighted average price. So yeah, it's one of those types of days. And I think sometimes that's just the case. And you look back and it's like, when I did want to flip, I wasn't sitting at the desk. I think I had just gotten up and I missed that breakdown trade there. And like, that's a classic. Like hold it to VWAP, hold it to trend break. That would have been a good one. And that was the one time it looked like a great short. We'll go to Adara, get a bit of an update, and then we'll fix the position board.
News, but I think this update might even be more exciting for you guys because in just over an hour, Netflix reports earnings. So I've prepared a fun little rundown of some things that we should look for and some things Netflix did last quarter because that's what we do over here on TTV Research. We post maybe an excessive amount of infographics. All of the ones I'm going to show you have either been posted within the last 2 days or they've been reposted within the last 2 days. So either way, if you go on our feed right now, TTV Research, I can guarantee you will find these posts. Let's get into this preview. So revenue tonight, we're looking for $12.17 billion. EPS estimate, 76 cents. Their guidance here, they're expecting year-over-year growth of 15.3% for the quarter. Netflix's guidance actually a little bit lower than what analysts are expecting. So it'll be nice to see if they can beat both their estimate and the analyst estimate here today. We're expecting an operating margin of 32.1%. That'd be a nice improvement over the 24.5% they gave us last quarter. Now again, so just for you guys who don't know who your CEOs, you've got co-CEOs, Ted Sarandos and Greg Peters. Ted Sarandos, the man on the left here, is by far, I think, the more well-known of these two. He was actually at a Senate hearing, I think in February of 26, related to the company's then plans to acquire Warner Brothers, which of course fell through. So he's the more public-facing of these two CEOs. Let's talk about some of what they did last quarter as well. So this actually, I like this visual too. Going to shout myself out because it also includes the guidance for Q1. So as we're seeing, revenue growth rate around 15%, slightly slowed down, but we've been kind of stagnant with that revenue growth over the last couple of quarters here. Again, we are expecting sequential revenue growth and operating margin. We're expecting a nice uptick. We also had lots of interesting programs that came out in Q4 of 25, Q1 26, this quarter we're going to get tonight. We had, off the top of my head, One Piece Season 2, unsure about what other Netflix things were on here, but there will be some programs for sure to be aware of in terms of seeing who's tuning into what. This can be an interesting metric for NFLX. Here's a look at last quarter's regions, viewership per region. Again, just under 20% growth for all of these regions, so strong regional growth across the board for NFLX. And last but not least, we are coming off a very good season here for Netflix at the Oscars. Now, they didn't win Best Picture yet again. They still have not gotten a Best Picture, but this was actually tied for their best year ever in terms of nominations that were converted to wins. They got 7 wins in 2021 and 7 this year in 2026. So more than a third of their nominations were converted to wins. Good look here for NFLX. I have a much more detailed Netflix Oscars analysis available on TTV Research, but please join us at 4, where I will be giving you guys the earnings, and I won't be getting into all the nitty-gritty that I just did here. This is to hopefully give you guys a little bit of a foundation of A, what analysts and what traders might be looking for from tonight, and B, what you could personally expect from tonight. So again, I'll see you guys at 4 p.m. Do not be late. Be there. Be square. I'll be reading earnings reports live. Back to you.
Spoiler for everybody. If you ask Adara to give you more nitty-gritty, she'll just do it anyways. So she can say she's not going to get into detail, but if you want more detail, she always has everything you need because I no longer have to know anything. If I want to know what the expected move is, I don't look it up myself. If I want to know what happened last quarter, I don't ask ChatGPT. And this is, sometimes it's good to be us at Trader TV Live. And you know what? It's good to be all of our viewers because, let's be real, wannabe trader, if you want a poll on Netflix, you will get a poll on Netflix. What do we think of Netflix earnings? Jump in the chat right now. We always make it very easy for everybody. You type 1 if you think Netflix is going up. You type 2 if you think Netflix is going down. You type 3 if you think only options market makers are going to do any winning, and it's going to be a chop fest. So everyone throw down in the chat. Not a lot of not a lot of 3s. Looking pretty bullish on Netflix, 65%, 63. It's moving around, but I do like the fact that we're looking bullish. Hey, I own Netflix shares, so I'm glad that everyone seems to like it. Full disclosure, it's been a great rally going into earnings for Netflix. I'll leave that one up. Maybe I don't know 3:30 or something. We'll close it. It's been a great rally for Netflix going into earnings.
What was 1, 2, or what was 1?
1 was higher, 2's lower, and 3 is chop fest.
I'm all of the above.
You can't. No, you're not allowed. There isn't a none of the above option. It's like you can't, no. Never. In real life, there's a none of the above. In our YouTube polls, we don't give that option. We want the opinion. That's the whole point, Joe. Let's go to Adara. We're just having fun.
Just Be aware here, AXGN, this name is Axogen. I've heard of this name before, probably a small cap runner, but it's spiking higher here because there's some speculation that this could be a takeover target. Now, again, none of this is confirmed. I'm not even really seeing reports. This is purely speculative, but either way here, AXGN on takeover speculation is pushing higher right now. Back to you.
There you go,
Thank you very much. I wanted to show that this is what I was meaning to get to, because obviously Netflix. Why would anyone have been long here? Oh, you don't like the Warner Brothers deal? Wait till they don't have it. Boom, you get a massive bounce. We're in a power hour now. I think it's got room to 116. It's above the 50. It's above the 200. Although if you go to the weekly chart, thank you, weekly chart, it is at the 50 on the weekly. Like, this gave you like that clean technical break on the weekly and the daily charts. And then when you go to the monthly, which I always love when you get all this kind of confluence, you still have, I mean, you go to the 2-month bottom, right? So there's your bottom 2-month close. I think there's still some room to rally on Netflix. We're gonna wanna see how the ad tier is doing, and ultimately that's been a good boon for them, for sure. I wish I could tell you we're getting a lot of movement. Palantir is still in the same range. I just keep redrawing it, just so you understand like why I liked it in front of VWAP, trending down, get some news, play it to the trend line, which looks like it could break. I could convince myself to get out before VWAP, but market doesn't seem to be moving enough yet. Yeah. But there's USO. USO is now at VWAP. Now it's at the volume weighted average price. So this is the bigger put up or shut up. Oh, something else just happened. I was just looking at my HIMS chart. So HIMS is really confirming. This is looking like a top to me on HIMS. I know it's been a strong stock, but that's looking like a top. Like I can already see this. Yeah, like the steep trend is broken. And then you can, what sometimes I like the play of, and this was like an Obiism. We kind of discovered this. We're doing the afternoon show one day, and I was waiting for like the long break to go, and he was looking at the steep short break, and I forget the stock, I think it was PayPal at the time. And so he got in like the steep break, and it kind of slowly moved down. It was like working in the money, and then the all-day break happened, and I triggered in, and there was like a huge flush, and then we were looking back after, it's like, those should both be entries. You should just take some there, and then more there as an idea.
That'd be more ideal. Always taking a little bit more.
Do you remember the stock there?
Is that short in like summer 24? Because I believe it was Shopify. I'm pretty sure it was Shopify.
It was not PayPal. Adara is exact. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. That's that's crazy.
Here goes Palantir through VWAP. Let's get out of this one here.
Adara, that's crazy. That's insane. I bet you Obi doesn't even remember what the stock was. I can literally picture the chart, I can picture the setup. So every time I draw like that type of a trend setup, I can remember the moment, but I don't remember the stock the way you just did. That's in the year? That was too, come on. It's crazy. You guys have no idea how lucky we all are. She doesn't forget a thing, and it's always like deadly accurate.
Scary accurate.
I had this weird, part of my brain right now is thinking, what's just a ridiculous question I can ask to prove the point? But I don't want to overthink it.
So do you just read, what's Buddy's name off of Suits?
I never really watched that show. I know who you're talking about.
I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah.
So
What do you mean?
Is that what your mind's like?
Oh, me? No, so I haven't seen enough Suits to comment.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's a combo of eidetic memory. I also, there's this thing I think called HSAM, and you have to be diagnosed with it. It's very, very rare, but a lot of those characteristics I have as well, where I can remember details of a day. I have a very music-related memory. I remember where I was the first time I heard a lot of songs, or context, or who I was talking to. A lot of my memories play back videos. And yeah, for example, I just remember seeing that Shopify trade where I was sitting over on the old news desk at the time that afternoon. And so it's I don't remember everything, but the things I remember in very great detail, and I do remember most things.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, so you just read something and then just... Right?
That would be so cool.
That'd be nice.
That would be awesome. Highly superior autobiographical memory is what that is called. I had to look it up because I don't
like saying it because it sounds so high, I don't like how weird and highly superior it sounds, but I don't like that, but I think that is, technically speaking, probably the closest way to describe my experience, I guess.
Well, I can say it. You can be humble about it. I can just say it. That is...
Say it again, Neil.
What do I say? Well, see how bad my memory... Highly superior autobiographical memory. That's what it was.
Write it down.
Like, I could barely even remember it. I said it 5 seconds ago, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You're crazy.
What was for lunch on Monday?
Monday? Yeah. Come on. Now you just make me look bad.
No, because I don't remember.
I don't remember what
What did we have for lunch on Monday, Adara?
I mean, the lunch, like, I don't know, this is not something my brain necessarily stores as much here.
Okay. You don't like the lunch thing. Why?
Because I don't care. I really don't care. I believe it was some kind of chicken, but again, it's just like, it's escaped me. I'm pretty sure I ate it. That's exciting enough for me for the lunch. But like I said, it's not like my memory is everything. It's like a lot of really weird, hyper-specific things. And if I'm interested in something, there's a much larger chance I'm gonna remember. That being said, I know for a fact some meals we did eat this week. We ate the Greek chicken, we had the jerk chicken, and then of course today we had some kind of barbecue, you guessed it, chicken. So yeah, those are some of the things we had this week. But.
Okay, hey, Adara, I got a good question for you. What was the first trade you made where you were involved in a halt trade, and tell me what the price of the stock was on that day?
Okay, so it's no longer a stock. It's I believe it was AX something. It was I was sitting in Sim. It was on a Friday. Brendo was out. It was during the midday. It was not Axogen because we just talked about that, but it was I think it was AXLI. I believe it was AXLI. It's no longer a stock, but I remember it was around, I think I got long at like 12 and it halted down. It was around like 10.50 or something. I was very scared. I didn't know what a halt was. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna lose all of my paper money. I thought, like Brendo had basically given me the mission. I had never traded before. He was like, just see how many, AXLA. He was like, just see how long you can kind of sit there and just see how many trades you can make without getting shut down. I didn't get shut down, but man, that was like one of my first or second trades I had ever made. And I was stuck in a halt, and I managed to only lose like 50 cents a share on it. And I was like, that's great, no halts ever again. Yeah.
What's crazy, I didn't know what the stock was. I vaguely remembered that there was that experience.
Because I rant about it a lot. Yeah.
I was just curious whether you'd remember. I was actually just genuinely curious to see if you would remember. But what's interesting, traders do. Not all traders have memories like Adara. Let's get that out of the way.
99.9%.
99.99999% of traders do not have a memory like that. But like you do, like certain things do stick out, right? Like where you might not remember the ticker, but you remember the circumstances. And so there will be other moments where you're in a trade or there's like a pattern forming, and there's something about it doesn't feel right, and you're like, I can't put my finger on this, but I don't like this particular setup, even though I usually do.
Fair.
Sometimes you're talking yourself out of trade. Other times, there is something that you remember that's like, oh, but in this circumstance, it relates to this trade, and I got burned on that, so maybe I want to size down here. I don't like it as much. Can we throw that comment back up, if we could?
Yeah, I just want to touch on it. Throw that comment back up. But there's a 141. There's a 141.90 buyer who just keeps stepping in.
I see it
On Palantir.
I see him. That's literally the price I have.
He just literally keeps buying up here right at that 141.90 mark.
The problem is the market's not moving. You know, like there's not enough pressure on the bounce for this to stop out. Again, like USO got to VWAP and is turning, right? So USO's turning. I think that would be a good for the shorts. That's why, like, I don't want to flip. Like, I was thinking of flipping into a long, but I can't bring myself to flip into a long. Like, USO did not follow through under VWAP, so I feel it's just like stick with what's working at this point. And then I missed HIMS too. That kind of sucks.
If we look at the 1 minute, it's starting to form somewhat of a shelf here as well at that mark too. So, I mean, if it breaks, then I think we can head into that next level of 52s.
Well, if
it does, I don't know if it's going to.
This is the annoying thing. So I ended up missing the first breakdown in HIMS, and then the second trend break. Like the first one was here, but I didn't actually get it. And this was what we were talking about before. Like there's your first trend break, and you have longer to get it. And then there's like the second, like a bit of a longer trend. Although you could make a really strong argument that it should be here to then VWAP. Sometimes I'll use the wider ones for like take profits, but I don't like mucking up my chart. I always find that visually I can just look at a key price level and usually it'll line up. Like I don't need to draw another line on my chart to tell me that 26, 60 to 70. That's where it curled here, and I had it. That's the pre-market resistance level. So, like I already know I want to be bidding down there for sure. We have U.S. oil bosses warn Trump to stand firm against Iran's Hormuz toll. Yeah, nobody likes the toll.
No.
That's not going to fly. That was never going to fly. Right? Like it's unprecedented. Like it's the ultimate signal that things got worse after the fact. Would be if there was suddenly a toll. And it doesn't even. It's not about how much it is. It's about the whole controlling too important of economic asset. It's just like that's not flying. Absolutely not flying.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean,
and it's not to get political. It's just.
Hey man, I think the conflict, it's good that it's cooling down at the end of the day, right? Like, I mean, we had that elevated activity. There's a bunch of signals that were telling us like, hey, this could be somewhat of a conclusion to it. Will you have some difficulties when it comes to the negotiations? Yeah, we're hearing that across the board, but I just didn't know. As long as there's no boots on the ground, I don't think it would have elevated as quickly, which it didn't, so. Anyways, aside from that,
I know anytime we talk about things, it's relevant to markets, it's relevant to oil futures, it's relevant to like many input prices, it's relevant to interest rates. So we have to talk about it. But this is not to get political. We're talking about international waters. It's not the same as making other comparisons. Like legitimately, the international community, there's lots of things you can do, agree or disagree on, would not let that fly. That's an easy one. So you would think that that'd be a pretty big sticking point. That being said, I did want to shoot, I lost my train. There was something else. What was it? Dang it. I hate when that happens. It was Tesla. You I'd remember eventually. It doesn't trade in New Zealand. But even something like Tesla, you'd think like, okay, well, this is starting to get off the schneid. Bit of a wipeout bottom and a turn and a bounce off VWAP. Look at how dead it's gotten here on Tesla. So you almost want these things to make a real move. Like you cannot force.
I mean, we only have 50 minutes left too. Like
3:11. Sheesh. And then we get Netflix. Netflix and well, I was gonna say kill the shorts. Netflix and kill sounds too harsh.
Yeah, that is like real harsh.
No, what I mean is like I want them to kill it, but like Netflix, but you can't. But if I shorten that to Netflix and kill, it just sounds bad.
I just do earnings and chill. I feel like that's the way you kind of do it. Like it's more neutral, just earnings and chill.
Yeah, that works. But it's not. I don't want the earnings to just happen. I want the stock at 115. Mint Cornetto, Pizza Friday. Sean's away, so time to play. Why, you guys want pizza tomorrow?
Tomorrow is Friday.
I have one condition. Well, we'll see what the lunch is.
I'll say no to the pizza, man. We eat healthy around these neck of the woods, you know.
You don't like?
We got burger. Whoa, never said that.
Okay.
I love pizza. Like it's between burger and pizza. I don't know which one I would like. If I had to eat one or the other, I would have a real hard time. And then that's when I would, if it's only one or the other for the rest of your life, that's where I would turn to the coin flip, and I think I'd be happy either way.
That's burger. I think it's a burger for me.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Yeah, I think it's a burger. Fair. It's easy. Like if I can only eat one, like it's easier to grill like a good burger at home than to make a great homemade pizza.
Yeah.
Like you can. We do it at our house. We'll make homemade pizza every now and then. Like we'll do the dough and everything. It's just way more work.
For pizza? Yeah. It's a whole process.
It's a whole process.
Yeah.
It's worth it in the end, but I gotta go with the burger, man. What else we got going on? I was gonna show you guys what happened to all the bullishness in this poll. I'm not trying to steer anyone. You vote however you want to vote on these Netflix earnings. But I thought we were doing a little bit better here. We're down to 61%. 13% of our viewers think it's going to be chopped. It's not going to happen. And then 25% think that Netflix is going to be down. Market is pushing all-time highs. Where's the optimism, everybody?
Yeah, I know.
I know. It's that kind of an earnings season.
It was there all week, though. I mean, like, at some point you're going to have one of these sessions, I think, Neil. Like, and if you look at the grand scheme of things, like, we're not even down, really. I mean, what is the teachable Qs down? Like, not even a percent? Like, 0.8%? I mean, you know what I mean? So that puts the NASDAQ at half of it, less than like 0.4%. So I mean, it's nothing. It's
oh God, jokes, don't you?
But you really, like, I agree, man, but you need the ham to complement the pineapple. Otherwise, I don't think
you need to not have pineapple on the pizza in the first place.
Yeah. If there is, like, you have to have a quality ham, in my opinion.
Yeah, fair enough. I love pineapple. Just there's a time and a place. On pizza is not.
Sure.
Adara?
Pineapple on pizza is amazing. Sorry, Neil. But everyone is entitled to their own opinions also, so I'm going to stand with that. I want to talk here about MRNA spiking, popping, whatever word you want to use here, to the upside after getting a partnership with OpenAI. Yes, that's right. OpenAI announcing they're working with Moderna to apply their GPT Rosalind model across workflows to accelerate drug research and discovery. So MRNA, OpenAI partnership, two companies you probably don't expect to hear in the same sentence, but investors do seem to like it, guys. Back to you.
It is wild. Thank you, Adara.
Yeah.
It is wild. This Palantir just keeps bouncing off that same level over and over. It's like if it breaks down, you know what though?
I was thinking about getting out at 80s.
I'm not even gonna bid. What I'm gonna do is if it gets, instead of looking for a break there, I'm gonna scalp some out at that low where the buyer is. Mm-hmm. And then if it breaks, I'm gonna hold through.
Yeah, exactly. Let's provide. We can't do that.
Yeah, that's what
you provide the liquidity right there to see if they're gonna breach.
Exactly. Birdman, thank you for the super chat. AXTI, if I ever needed a session to act as a confirmation for my thesis on the trade for the long, today is that day. AXTI. What is going on with that bad boy? $80. Wow. That's still undefeated. Sometimes the best break and continuation trades are the ones where there was a rinse previously. Like it was a rinse, so therefore it's easier to trap. I know this well because I'm very much a continuation short kind of person. So when I see this happen, pop and fail, and then pop and fail the same level, you can have a pretty good idea of like where my brain goes when I see. I'm glad I didn't look at this chart, because that's exactly the kind of short, not that I hang on to it forever, but I would have easily tried this if I saw that chart. Like I would have been looking for the short in here somewhere, then you take the one hit, but then it just has more oomph. Like you have to consider the counterparty on the trade sometimes. And a lot of times the daily chart doesn't look that good, so maybe I would have gotten away from it because the daily chart looks so ridiculously powerful. But a lot of times it'll be that hold. It's showing you the high, it's showing you the rejection, it's giving you the continuation. It's looking like it wants to fail right back into that low and maybe even flat bottom break. But really, it's just overall a consolidation. So you should always try to confirm on every time frame. Because when I looked at that, only looking at 3 days, it looked like a short. But when I put the 15-minute up, I'm like, nah, I wouldn't have taken it. I wouldn't take this on the 15-minute. On the 15-minute, that just looks like a long consolidation. Thank you, Moses, for the super chat. Amazing show, great show, amazing team. Thank you very much. But you know what? We should also thank this market for all the volatility that it has, except for the last 20, 30 minutes where we're not going anywhere. But you know what? Volatility creates movement. And movement for sophisticated traders creates opportunity. That's what we like to see. Beta Pro by Globex offers Canada's first and longest running suite of leveraged and inverse ETFs that are built for sophisticated investors who understand the risks of leverage and the importance of precision. Triple leveraged bull and 3 expiry ETFs tied to the NASDAQ 100 index are designed for daily tactical trades, providing amplified daily exposure and giving traders tools to engage with both upward momentum and market pullbacks. These strategies are currency hedge, seeking to offset US dollar exposure back to the Canadian loonie. For those navigating short-term market moves up or down, Beta Pro offers the flexibility to act with conviction, whatever that looks like for your individual strategy, objectives, and risk profile. Trade tactically and learn more at betapro.ca. Scan the QR code right there. It's nice and easy to do.
Scan that QR code. All right, Neil, we're going right back in towards that low. Let's see if that, we were talking about that 141. Pardon me?
Now it won't fill the 80 guy.
Oh, really? Well, let's see, man. If it fails to break one more time, then I think we just have to kind of
ridiculous.
Yeah, look at him on the tape though. Boom, he just steps right back in. Every time, just right back in on the tape here is what Neil and I are referring to. This individual, as soon as it gets back, as soon as it hits that 94 or that 91 mark, instant at and above the ask. And you're going to see that momentarily. If we drop back down, you're going to see them step right back and boom, now he's printing 99. So it's just whatever it is, whatever algorithm it may be, is just stepping in at that specific zone and buying price right back up. This is what I'm looking at. Like, you have this compression pattern starting to be formed. There goes Robinhood, or the T-triple-Qs kind of towards the high. So we have to be cautious on what we got going on here. But look at, you're starting to really compress in price. So we have to see if we're going to find a specific direction, lower highs, higher lows, right? So, I mean, let's go. Like, either it's going to flush to one side or the other. I don't know if it's going to come in on the imbalances or something along those lines, which is approximately, 20, 30 minutes from now. So you have to be patient. Keeps bouncing off of 95s. I tried to wave out a little bit of the noise and change my time frame from the 1 to the 3 just to eliminate some. But I like where we're opening up here. If we can break 93, or we're just going to go and test it one more time. We're back at 91, Neil. Let's see how this guy reacts. I mean, it's already hitting the ask, and there you go. He steps right back in, printing 93s.
It's hilarious. It just will not let it go.
Yeah, like printing, now printing 90. There it goes 80. It prints 89, but let's see if it steps right back in. Yeah, right back in at 90. Crazy stuff, man. Tape reading is a hell of a game, that's for sure. And that's one of the skills I think that takes a little bit longer, is just to understand the tape, because it is one of the old school things, right? Like, isn't that on the old NYSE floor? It's just that they would just go through the ticker tape. It's just see how everything.
Yeah, understanding the ticker
right?
tape.
Yeah.
It's so they do it. It's so different now, because when I started, and people, I've said this before, like, not everyone actually believes this. But when I was a trainee in 2003 on the trading floor, I can't even remember when we first were allowed to look at charts. It's certainly, I don't think in my first month, I don't think we were allowed to look at charts. At least the first 2 weeks. You only looked at the level 2 and the time and sales, at least for 2 weeks, if not a full month. And the reason for that is everybody, you've never traded before, but you've seen a chart. Like, that's what you do know something about. The thing you didn't know anything about was the tape. So that's where you wanted your brain to be learning at first, not the thing that you have some frame of reference on or what you think you know. So, and then it seriously accelerates your learning curve by not having any other noise and only looking at the tape. Because it forced you to make decisions not based on, like, think about it. Like, I'm short Palantir right now. Come to my chart for a second, as I'm literally referencing the chart again. Like, this trend, whatever it was, that's not the one. Not that it matters, but I just don't like being incorrect about it. So this trend was holding, and it was VWAP, so that gave me some confluence. Those are two reasons to be in that I wouldn't have had when I was a trainee. Now, I could observe that there was resistance here, but I'd need to read it on the tape. And if I was able to pick out that this was resistance on the tape, then I could have an entry. But I didn't even know what VWAP was. I wasn't even looking at charts. And then what happens is you're able to then pair looking at whatever indicator you happen to like, or anchored VWAP, or maybe it's like here VWAP, trend lines, Bollinger Bands, Fibonacci's, whatever you like. And then you take that and then use a tape reading to maybe decide, okay, this is an ad. Do I need to trim some out here because there's a buyer, and let it go a little bit further like I was, and now I can reload if I see the seller up at the volume weighted average price? That just comes with the tape reading side of it. Neil, how about him short? Yeah, this one was two-pronged. So this was the initial, I want the short here to the stop there, but this is an ad. Technically two separate trades, but I'm treating it like the one. I didn't get my short at 27.47, so all I did is put on the half here. That's not usually what I would do, but this was I should have been short here to there, and then adding there to basically keep the same stop. So when it maintained this trend line, I'm still taking the entry, and it hasn't come back in to give me the price that I should have taken the first half, so I'm not doing anything. Like, I'm not gonna take that half down here like a fool and then leave my stop. And it's not really moving. But yeah, the intention was to take this break, like the false high, and then grab it at like 27.45, and then add to it as it's breaking that trend line. I just didn't get the first fill.
Do you have the anything that will show the top percentage gainers on the day?
I have my quote board is in the whole market.
Okay.
Oh, there's some.
Yeah. Which I think is something that you want. I know someone in the chat was asking. Dude, time's ticking.
I just saw. Oh, that was the IPO today. Oh, thank goodness I didn't take those. That would have sucked. They both stunk. No, if you want to look at like the quote board, it's like a lot of weakness in travel and Alibaba. There, Intel's having a great day, AMD's having a great day, SMCI. You're led by the chips again. Like PayPal's up, but it's gonna close like flat. Actually, no, sorry. It's up since the open, but it's flat on the session because it gapped down. Like that PayPal. Remember there was that, whatever. Whoops. PayPal. I feel like they were New York, right? PayPal was New York, and now it's NASDAQ. At some point, it must have been New York, because I typed New York out of muscle memory. Either way, it doesn't make a difference. I love PayPal. I don't care if they got a downgrade. This, to me, when it broke yesterday, that was a swing entry on PayPal. Bang. Give it to there. Let's play it to the 200-period moving average. So I like that chart for sure. There was something else I was going to get to. We already talked about the sectors. Nothing happening with interest rates. Bitcoin has been at 75K and doing absolutely nothing with it. Literally nothing with it. And when you look at the heat, the thing that stands out to me today on the heat map is Microsoft, Oracle, IBM, Salesforce. Anyone notice a theme there? Oh, look, I get it. AMD's having AMD and Intel, but the chips led us yesterday. That's not that big of a surprise. Anybody know what those things have in common? The IGV with a good day. But Sprung Out has sent a super chat and wants us to look at something. So Sprung Out, hopefully you're not too sprung out. It was QXO. Looks like a great setup to you. Well, I hope it looks like one to me, but it ultimately doesn't matter. There's nothing wrong with getting Confluence. There's nothing wrong. I'll be the first one like, what are you seeing here? Do you like it? Do you not like it? One of my favorite things is consolidation higher. I find it gets people out oftentimes, and it's just a reason to hold when something is trending up. So that's a pretty good case of it made oh, that's gorgeous. I love those. Trend break, regain both moving averages, room to the high, holding the trend, stair step up, higher low, break, hold prior support, break, pull back, hold, break. So like, yeah, is it possible like could this dip to 23.5, 23? Fair enough. But would it still be on trend if it did? Yes, I think so. Great looking trend. It hasn't done anything to show that it stopped on the trend. Typically, if I'm in a trend like this, usually I like the moving averages for like profit areas and then try to see how far it can fly. Love that. It's a great looking chart. Good one. I love when we get super chats and it's like, man.
Why didn't you tell us about this a long time ago?
Yeah, it's like, well, you're asking me for my advice?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, hey, man, it should be the other way around.
That's what I want PayPal to do. Whatever. PayPal's just trying to break the trend now. That's already gonzo.
You see NVTS today?
Oh, yeah. What, sorry?
NVTS?
No. Navitas?
Yeah. Look at it. Massive 10
well,
bucks.
you guys are on this one?
Someone had to be on this one. 22% on today's session.
That smells like it's up Sharif's alley.
Yeah, I found it in the small cap scan.
Yeah.
So that's a really good look there.
Holy.
Like 261 million shares traded on this, and it's done nothing, just churning essentially right there. MYSE. Yeah, I know, Neil. This thing, I'm watching it. I think I know why they call the tape the Matrix, because you can get lost in it, right? Like it's like one of those swirly things. Is that if you focus on it, it's crazy. Like, I mean, we keep bouncing. I don't know if it's gonna happen.
You gotta avert your eyes every now and then.
You do. And you guys seen, I've been absolutely glued just watching the tape. Like, I'm looking at the tape, and every time, so it's just like, hey, what do we do about this? Like, how many more times are we gonna bounce off of this 90 mark before we take that really aggressive move? I mean, in either direction, but the chances are, if we keep buying up at the low, I don't think that we're gonna get that breakthrough. I think it's more or less of a snapback, but I mean, I could be totally wrong. USO moving lower?
Down, yeah.
Yeah, so that's not good. Like I'm thinking,
technical.
Like, should I might just hop out of this trade, to be honest with you, with Palantir. I mean, you got a good position as well too. We'll take a couple penny loss on it, but I mean, nonetheless,
It doesn't matter. It's not going.
it's not doing anything. I don't know if it's gonna break. Like, I think our best bet at this point is an imbalance coming where you break through that level.
It's already 330. Like this is, it's at the point where like you know,
like you're not going to get that dollar move or anything.
One of my
like
favorite lines in TV history: "Do it or don't do it. I got places to be." And if you know who said it, you know. And if you don't know who said it, you need to find out. Straight up.
Yeah.
Joe, you don't know who said it.
I have no idea. But
his nickname was the Black. Believe it or not.
Gotta ask Gemini right now.
Oh, Gemini, if Gemini can't get that one, do it or don't do it, I got places to be. There it is. Real Johnson in the chat knows what's up. Ethan in the chat knows what's up. That's what I'm talking about. And I understand, like, not everybody knows what's up. I'm not saying it. Because I want to see if Joe actually figures it out with Gemini. Fail, Gemini. It's from The Wire. Marlowe and The Wire.
I never watched that show. I tried. Like, I took a couple attempts on it, but I feel like it was just moving a little bit too slow.
Man. Give it a chance. Give it a chance.
Is it like is it kind of? I know what it's about. Like, I watched a couple episodes. You know why I stopped watching? Is because of I didn't like the cop. That actor cop guy. Never really liked him. He plays one of
they're all cops. It's like half the show is cops.
Yeah.
McNulty?
But the guy who's in 300.
Jimmy McNulty.
Is that who it is?
Yeah. Like the main cop. But like, okay, so Jimmy is a you know what. Like his character is supposed to be like a gaping, but he's good police. That's what makes the show real. Is there's like everybody's like a actual person. Like they write it well. Like everybody has their flaws and they have the things that are good about them.
That one actor died recently, didn't he? Who has the big scar
like a couple of people. Right? Michael K. Williams.
Michael K. Williams.
They played Omar. Too young, man. That sucks.
Was it drugs or something? I watched actually a really good movie last night called Wasteman, a good English prison movie. Yeah, it's really good. I'm gonna get out of this Palantir.
Yeah, you know what? So here's the other reason, and this will actually end up like break even. It's also like when I redraw like the trend, like this consolidation is sort of looking like another trend break. It's just not going. The other one is the original entry. Like so now HIMS is at where I should have had the first entry point. They should have had this and then been adding there, and it could be like a reverse. But the way the market's moving up, I don't feel like it makes sense to add unless we retake the bid. I'm not just going to add on the way up. Yeah. It's not making sense at this point.
But it's like, what I'm noticing here on this pattern, Neil, is like I almost may as well. Like if I can post up at 90s and then get a bounce with it.
I'm going to flat, and then I'm just going to reload at VWAP.
Like, the way you think, I'm thinking like, why wouldn't like over this whole time sitting it, why didn't I just buy at that 90 and participate with that big buyer right there? And you keep getting that pop up into like 42.10s. You're collecting 20 cents here and there.
I know why I didn't.
Yeah.
It's right now on the daily, it's looking at a fail of the 50-period moving average on the daily. Adara just had a negative story. It's a multi-day grind higher with a rejection of that top and a lower high, weaker tape in the market, under VWAP while the market's over VWAP, trend down from the high. Like it's just everything about it set up short, but it's not doing anything.
Yeah, it's not doing anything. I'm posted up there at that 90 to see if I can catch a fill. And I'm just like, why not just ride this chop here instead of looking for that breakdown? But I think it's going to go without us. So I'm either going to take 90s or nothing at all. And I mean, it's been breaking down a little bit, but we've only had a couple of breaches. Oh, yeah, that's what it, dude, brother, as soon as I post up at 90s.
Oh, you got out,
I'm out too. I said that, I'm like, this guy, it keeps bouncing off. So I'm like, let me get out at 42 at least.
Kept it.
So now I'm going to, I'm post up where that supply is and see if we can just ride that essentially ebb and flow. It's been going on for quite some time, so why not? But I think at this point it's going to go. And I was saying that earlier, like I think at some point it's just going to spring in one way or the other and potentially break a trend line. So it is what it is. We're posted up at 90, take a loss on that one, and it's either we catch a fill or we don't momentarily.
See, I should have just gone back to Robinhood. Sometimes really it should just be like probably continue to trade the one that you like better. Like it just gave this like the same look, double bottom at 85. It's a very slow, boring grind, but that's still like it takes a while to get a 1% move. Like it's a whole hour that you probably have to have that in, but it did work. And now you're at resistance, so I don't like it at all. AMD, who knows? And I've seen some of the other names out there. AMD to the moon. AMD's a beast. I've given my mea culpa on that one. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes you buy the dip. I bought SPY. I bought some Apple.
That's good.
I bought some NVIDIA.
Ooh.
I bought some Robinhood.
You're indulging.
I dipped and covered some on Vernova.
Damn.
But the one stock I didn't buy was the stock that I sold at the top. And the irony of that is what it is. Sometimes, and I know what I did too, like usually, if a stock like this has that much support at the 200 period moving average, I'm for sure buying it. And you know why I didn't?
Why?
Because I just simply looked at the valuation, and it was nothing else. I'm like, I like the value. The valuation is better on NVIDIA, so if I have to choose between the two, that's what I'm going to do. And I bought the one with the chart didn't look as good. That ended up being wrong. And sometimes you should be critical of yourself. Like the support here, and this is what I mean, like support on NVIDIA, it's choppier. The support was underneath both major moving averages. Like it just doesn't look as good. Oh, you went long, nice.
Yeah, dude, I told you, I'm like, dude, it's just churning at 90s. I'm like, why would I not essentially do that, right? Like, so it's like, boom, 10 cents right out of the gate, like that one. And I went like, pretty heavy too. So, I mean, I was like, let me post up where that supply zone is and see if I could just play that ebb and flow. And then I get in at 90s, I take some off at 142s flat. If it breaks down now, that's fine. But we just had a blast doing that. That was wicked, man. Just playing the chop, essentially. So let's see if it holds up and we can climb a little bit higher. If not, that's fine. We get out break even on the trade right back at 90s. We took 50% off, and it looks like it's moving here now. I don't know if it's anything to along those lines, but imagine it broke now. I'd be like, man, come on, man.
If it breaks now, I'll be
there.
Like, why?
I got right out at 90, so I took half out, essentially. So that was a nice little move there. Bounced right off of 90. Now it goes right back up to, oh my God, no.
Someone's just playing against that price. It could be, the problem is it's accumulation and it's hard to tell who's winning.
Easy.
It used to be a lot easier. If a stock was stuck at a price, you could see the market makers and know who was on the bid and who was on the ask. Well, you used to actually look at a level too, and like it wouldn't just, like you'd actually see like MSCO and Goldman Sachs. Like you'd actually see. And sometimes they would use their own, they'd use their game. Like they could use others, but sometimes they would just show up and you'd be able to tell. And it's like on this stock, I like Goldman. There was one random stock that like if you saw Jeffries on the offer.
You were just partying like
it's like a little weird thing. And of course, now it's not like that anymore because I always want to make it harder. But like imagine when you actually knew where the orders were coming through on the NASDAQ and the New York. That was really cool. Netflix is losing the bid, and I don't like it.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't like it. Going into earnings tonight, Netflix just lost view up. And the context is everything else is grinding higher, and Netflix is starting to sell. It doesn't always mean anything, like what a stock is doing going into the print. Like we've seen plenty of time where something's running and then gets rinsed, but it's, I'm not going to take it as a fantastic sign. It ran into the close hard yesterday with a lot of other things. And it was at least consolidating. Yeah, but it would make some sense that you could just don't overreact. Like it's on a pretty big tear going into the earnings print. So profit taking before would just be people selling right now. I would chalk it up to that. The velocity is not crazy, not enough of a news story. So less than ideal if you're looking bullish on Netflix this evening. In about 22 minutes, what am I talking about? Like it's like really far away, but it's just slightly selling. Not enough and not enough volume that you're worried about news or anything like that. Probably just a little bit of profit taking. If you bought this a couple of weeks ago at like $80, and you have a chance to take out 25, 30% win without having to worry about the print.
Try it again, man.
I don't blame you.
Let's try it again. I mean, like, we printed up to 99s. There's a 200 seller. So if I could just play this ebb and flow, I'll post up next time. If we get that 10-cent pop, as fortunately we were last time, I'll just hop out full size instead of taking 50% off into that supply zone. So, I mean, if it's going to rock and roll, let's see. It's such a tough play because it's just moving sideways. It's doing nothing, and I think that's the only thing that's really giving us the ability to kind of trade it like this. So what I'm doing essentially here, guys, is I'll break it down. So Neil and I were both thinking short, and I'm surprised it didn't come to me a little bit quicker. I'm short from 87. It's not getting that breakdown all the way from over here. We're short 87. Comes back, rejects VWAP. But then for the past half hour, it's just been chopping off. And we're like, man, this 90 buyer, it's not lifting. It's not lifting. Every time we run into 90s, it just bounces. And I'm like, all right, what am I doing sitting in this chop? And then I'm like, oh, okay, let's see if we can just post up at 90 and participate on what this individual is essentially doing. And that's just churning shares in between 90 and 141.90 and 142. So you take a 10-cent move on that, and I'm going to try it again. It's either it's going to work or it's not. I think that at this point, considering the NASDAQ is continuing to climb higher, I wouldn't be surprised if it actually gets a pop to the top side. See, now we didn't even print. We were hitting 91s on the bid, not quite up to that 90 mark, and then sure enough, I'm going to miss out on this trade here potentially. Yeah, there it goes. Printing 04s now, Neil.
It's just so back and forth.
Yeah, it is.
So what'll end up happening is I'll end up with a worse price on the ad by not taking it like against me. Like on HIMS, I missed this entry and was meaning to add there, but then I decided when it got back up to the entry price, allow it to break the trend and then sort of get it on the way down instead of on the way up. It's also 340, so I didn't want to be in this one unless it was starting to go. So I'd give up a little bit of price to be with the momentum a bit. And then the other thing I have to worry about is it's a little bit tight for it to get to VWAP. We're running out of time, but also, not my mouse locator. Also, that any stock at any point in 10 minutes can have an imbalance on it. And right now, yeah, look at that. It's an early look buy on HIMS. Now, sometimes you'd be a little bit scared of that, but it is a trade that I'm not. One of the trades I kind of like is when you have a buy imbalance, it's not huge. 1 million shares into 68 million on volume in the day is not a lot. And on top of that, oftentimes what'll happen is it'll get paired off. So now I have that whole flip trade going for myself where imbalance can come out and immediately pair off. And I'm shorting to this stop anyways. So if people are buying because of the 1 million balance, well, I was going to take the short and stop here anyways. And if they pair it off, some of those longs get out, and then that's my alpha to get out of the trade. So we have 8 minutes till the imbalances come in. Adara at the desk. What do you got for us?
Fortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you view it, I actually have some news related to Netflix, though. That's not the stock that's moving on it. It's AMC pushing higher here. There was an interview, I guess, with CEO Adam Aron of AMC, during which he signaled there could be an expansion of the company's partnership with Netflix, saying there'll be more joint projects in 2026 and beyond. So again, with literally 18 minutes to go until Netflix releases earnings, we have the release of this interview with Adam Aron of AMC with Variety, where he says, hey, we're going to expand our Netflix partnership, and you can see more joint projects this year and going forward. Back to you.
What's amazing about AMC is it really did end up just being a dollar hold. It's hilarious. I sort of joked about that for a long time, and then when it got down there, I'm like, yeah, as if that's the stock that I'm buying on the dip. I mocked it. It's like I bought a lot of stuff on the dip. It wasn't this one. And then AMC, it was better than literally anything else that you could have done.
Yeah,
you could have bought it at 101, and it's still trending higher.
Crazy.
It's like a 60% move, and you were risking 10%, like 10% on the trade. It was a 101 long with a stop at like 93 cents. You're not even risking 10% on that, and I'm like, yeah, let's ignore that and buy the dip you got to buy the dip on quality names, Joe.
Yeah.
You should only, because that's exactly what you should do.
What was that poll that you and Sean did a while ago? Is that what would you rather have, GameStop or Ethereum or something along those lines? Or BM&R or something?
No, it was GameStop and something else.
I swear it was like Ethereum.
ETH. It was ETH.
Yeah.
It was, well, the timing mattered
those guys
too.
in.
Timing mattered. At the time, again, like we were looking at it in that moment. I don't remember the day we did it. Like I could pull up ETH, but because I don't really remember when we were saying it, probably a little bit irrelevant.
It was about 3 weeks. Yeah, it was 3 weeks.
It was last month. It was in March sometime. Look, it turned out it might be that ETH was better. Not that it's moved more. Because if it was mid-March, it's pretty much where it was before. Yeah. But if it was down here at 15, and then GameStop is probably, I want to say, it's still at 25. It's better. Like, how much better? You know what? Any way you cut it, GameStop's been better. All right, I can stick with it. What I was going to say is I don't want to definitively say that we were right about that, but no, definitively GameStop was better than ETH.
I mean, yeah, you know you're hot garbage when GameStop is better than.
No, but what's crazy is, and AMC is better than both of them.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
Volcan, hey friend, thank you for the super chat, Volcan. Thanks, what is your take on AMAT worth a dip buy here? I don't own AMAT anymore. Out of the companies that make the stuff that make the chips, I like Lam, I own ASML, and AMAT I used to own, and I think they're all great, in my opinion. I think they have great looking charts. I make an argument that AMAT is as good as any. Again, like I slight preference to Lam if I had to choose between the two. But when you're saying buy the dip, I think what has changed on this chart at least is sometimes it starts to look like there's support at a level instead of riding the trend line, which had been good. So if we're actually failing the high, I'm not sure. Like usually, if I'm in something like this, I just buy the dip at the 50 period, and that's hit it and quit it, and then that's it. Like that's to me like a G Vernova is an example of that. Right? It's just you keep making highs and buy the dip and takes them out, and buy the dip and takes them out. But I don't know that that's what it looks like anymore here on that AMAT chart. Like the last time it came back in, it failed the 50 period. It still ended up higher. So do we respect that after it just failed, or do you wait for like 320? Tough call. Sorry. I know you want a definitive answer, but what do you want me to tell you? Like I'm not buying the dip on that. If that goes down there, I'm buying something else personally. Probably G Vernova. Yeah. Easy peasy. Thank you for the super chat. You just sold Netflix options. Yeah. Well,
I mean, he sold them leading into the report, so he's tipping us 0.2%.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Netflix trying to bounce off 107 here. So some of the risk off.
Well, he told us how much. He told us essentially how much he made, $238 off of those contracts.
Oh, so anybody,
right?
If you're just tuning in, easy peasy, via super chat gives 0.2% of gains.
So there you go, 238 smackers there.
Thank you. You know what,
dude? Whatever, Palantir.
I don't have a thank you button.
We need one. Why didn't we think of that a long time ago? Look at Palantir go. Neil, I said that this was going to break up. I post up at 90s one more time. I just took it off a little bit too early. Now it's climbing up 30 cents from that level, man. Oh, man. Come on. Nice breakout there in Palantir.
Yeah, that was...
What a diamond hands, those trades, man. That's the last time.
Well, one of the things that I find, it's like, well, the reasons that make you abandon a trade sometimes are also the reasons to flip. Like, it didn't hit my stop. It doesn't hit the stop, but there's something about it that you just don't like enough to want to hold on to it for the move, but that can also be a reversal. And maybe it's that buyer in the tape, who knows? Still have about 3 minutes till the imbalances. Ooh, HIMS is growing a bit. I'm still like it for that flip. Keep in mind, HIMS is a buy imbalance. So yeah, I've got the trend trade on, but I have a hard stop. If that comes out as a bigger buy imbalance than what it's showing, I'm going to be right out of this thing. Hopefully, I'm in a trade that I would normally take, and then you get like a reverse. Maybe it comes out as like 700,000 or 500,000, and then that's a bit of a shock to the system, and then it pushes back in. SMR is like a small early look, 900,000, QBTS, 600,000 going into this. Enbridge and BAC tends to not matter. Those usually would pair off, those bigger name. PCG, same thing. So HIMS would be the one to watch, and then maybe an SMR or an IonQ. That's 700. Oh, IonQ's done 66 million. Yeah, that's a nothing burger. IonQ's done 66 million shares. That imbalance isn't going to do a thing. So you know what I'll be watching going into this close? And then the other thing we should all be looking at, because, hey, they're the ones that report tonight, is Netflix. Like, what is Netflix going to do? Right at the close. We are expecting them right at 4 o'clock, so you kind of know the drill. Usually we're like, hey, we're winding things down, and then at 4 o'clock. No, at 4 o'clock, we're going to get right into the numbers and the reaction on Netflix. Adara's here. She's locked and loaded and ready to go. And she'll be in the moment memorizing everything that happened so we can then recall it tomorrow. And then I'll it's like, why do I, like in the morning, I read articles and I go over reports, and it's just out of habit to refresh myself with what's going on. And then it's like, I could literally just ask Adara everything.
Yeah, you could.
I could just be like, Adara, what happened here? And how much did they beat by? And what was their margin last quarter? And it is pretty crazy, and it is awesome. It's also awesome, absolutely awesome. But honestly, you have no idea. It's funny because whenever I talk about your memory, I'll get like the glib comment from my wife. It's like, yeah. It's too bad you don't have half that memory at home. I'm like, I know. So I have to be staring at the camera to remember what thing I'm taking my daughter to tonight. It's like, is it baseball tonight or is it swimming tonight? What day is today? Thursday? It's baseball tonight. There's like a baseball academy thing that she's going to. See, I didn't even immediately know that. It's terrible. It's literally right when I get home. So 15 seconds to go to the imbalances, everybody. 10 minutes until we have Netflix earnings. I don't actually know if there's any small ones as well, but you know what we're going to care about. Oh, Alcoa as well.
That's where we had Alcoa too.
Yeah. I remember the good old days when Alcoa used to open up earnings.
There you go.
So NVIDIA, 2.9 million to the buy side for NVIDIA, 1.6 to the buy side for Cisco. SMR, 2 million to sell on SMR, 1.4 million to the buy side on Intel. Apple's a buy of 1.1 million. QBTS sell 900,000. Looks like we're probably big buy imbalance overall. That's a lot of buy imbalances. I'm going to just maybe bid something out there. I haven't seen HIMS. HIMS must have paired at only 600,000. So it kind of, sort of did and didn't work. It came out smaller, but there wasn't that big of a spike to the downside because it still came out of bid. So like half of what I wanted to see, I wanted to pair the whole thing off. It paired off half. But NVIDIA, that would be the story. NVIDIA, immediately pull back. So it bounced 60 pennies and instantly pulled back on NVIDIA. The other big one was Intel. Apple, what's Apple doing? Not much. Immediately giving the small gain on that buy imbalance right back in. Yeah. And it was a 1 billion buy for the NASDAQ overall. So decent size, but not huge.
Yeah, pretty good size here. I just tried to scalp with the punch through VWAP on Palantir. I'll get out as soon as it prints 19s. And I'll just hop out of that. Yeah, I mean, it didn't work as planned. We had a nice momentum play, just a little bit of a breath. I tried to get in on the pullback, but it's been a little bit deep here. So let's see if this can be continued. I mean, we just printed up to 28s again. Can we break through this level? I think this is going to be a key teller. I mean, this is why a platform is key. Look what this is printing, 21s, and on the tape here we have 28. That's why you can't day trade on something like this. You can use it for charting, but the market delay is just like you can't have something printing 10 cents essentially higher than what the actual price is showing. So if you're using TWS, I would advise not to because you're just getting delayed quotes. You have to look at the tape and something that has direct market access. Unfortunately, it does not. So. Aside from that, like a strong pop, Neil. I'm still holding on to it. If we can break through, then that'll be absolutely prime time. We're printing 29s again. There we go. We get to print 30s, printing 31s here on Palantir. Let's see, can we get up to 32s? Doesn't look like it as we have a seller once again at the volume-weighted average price. So we had that buyer back at that 141.90, and then now we have someone sitting right up at the volume-weighted average price. Most likely the algos, obviously, as it's coming back in. So let's go. We'll send things off to Adara.
Just want to let you guys know here, we did get some comments from Parliamentary Speaker Galbaf of Iran saying that with regards to the ceasefire with Lebanon, they're going to approach it with caution. So again, we know that this whole ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon, super kind of confusing how it was just announced by Trump. Then Israel initially said they were caught unaware that this was happening, and then Israel later said they were okay with the 10-day ceasefire. Seems like Iran is kind of taking a wait-and-see approach. Back to you.
That's fair. Okay, 33s, print 33s. I'm looking to take 40% off here at 33. Bang. Let's provide a little bit of liquidity as we print 35s on that one.
Liquidity.
Boom. Yeah, as Obi once said. I mean, give them a little bit of inventory, as Obi likes to use those terms. We'll hop out of there. A nice little scalp city on that one on Palantir back towards the top side. I would have loved to hold my initial position off of those lows. That would have been absolutely cash money for sure. And pizza would have been on me this weekend, but that doesn't seem to be the case. No pizza this weekend.
Why not?
Because, man, it's like just back into shape. Like you gotta get ready for summertime. You know what I mean?
Pizza doesn't have to be that bad of a food for you. I'm just saying, like, you can get vegetables on it. It's got all the food groups involved.
It's just the dough.
You can eat. You don't have to be like ridiculous with diet to stay healthy. You can have a pizza every now and then. You can.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think it's just that little extra
You ran 5K
step.
yesterday. You can eat some pizza.
And I could probably do it again today, even though like that was the first time I did it in X amount of months.
That's intense.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this right now. So Joe, the reason why I'm giving the props up for running 5K, Joe tore his ACL, is recovering from it. I'll tell you right now, when I tore my Achilles, the first time I ran the 5K, I had legit, I knew it was okay, but I had legit soreness. Like there was zero chance I was running the next day.
Oh, like,
and I knew I wasn't running.
Don't get it twisted. I feel sore.
You don't want to push.
But but see, the thing is though, I used to just eat those for breakfast, man. Just wake up and just, well, not literally, but I could just run like 5K, just the distance. You know what it is? You know what I love is that your mind is telling you to stop, and you just decide to just keep on going because you can keep going until your body. Look what Palantir just did.
Did it make?
Oh my God, dude. Was like okay, a couple hundred shares there, 100 shares here, taking the scalp, and then it just goes absolutely nuts. Man, dude, whatever. Just printing one, it just went to 143. Like, are you kidding me? That is absolutely insane.
At 55.
Wow.
At 355, you usually get like a pairing event where imbalances will pair off. I didn't see Palantir jump up. But sometimes in that moment, you can get even like the slightest change in the imbalance and the algos can react to it. Like I flatted my HIMS because if it wasn't going to move by that point, it's not going to move at all. Profit TT. I don't actually have a cool story how I tore my Achilles. It was a couple of years ago, and my daughter's soccer was parents versus kids. I sit all day at work. I didn't warm up. It was on turf.
No
way. I was at best 50 to 60% speed, and just went for a change of direction. I thought a kid kicked me in the back of the leg. It's
like that,
on the wrong side of 40. Like I can't sit down all day and then not warm up and think that I can even do anything. It was so nonchalant. Like I didn't feel like I was even doing anything.
It was at the parents' kids game too.
Oh, and the worst part is in the middle of the game, and my daughter's playing. So like I've just torn my Achilles. I can't go to the ground in pain. So I stayed on my feet. I kind of stood there and kind of moved around until the game was over and sort of hobbled off.
How long was it?
About another like 10 minutes or so. It wasn't bad.
Okay.
Maybe it was only 5 minutes. But I didn't want my daughter freaking out, and I didn't want the other kids like, oh no, what just happened? Because it's just a friendly thing.
Yeah. The second time, so the first time I tore my ACL was one of the most excruciating pain. The second time, I finished the game, but I just knew that something was wrong with my knee. So I was like, no, something's not right there. And sure enough, that was the case. Something was not right. I thought I just tore my meniscus, to be honest with you. Wasn't the case. The doctor's like, yeah, brother, I blew your knee up.
Damn. Adara, I know you were trying to chime in.
I was going to say, do you know what date it is? Because I do.
What?
Of the injury. Do you know the date of the ACL?
Of Joe's, you know the date he tore?
I know the date of the ACL.
Of my ACL?
No,
of his Achilles.
Oh, sorry, Achilles, yeah.
How do you know the date? I don't know.
It was July 2nd, 24.
You know what?
That was crazy.
I was about to go to the calendar, because I went to a calendar I could check, because I'd be able to see when my surgery was. But I'm not even going to bother checking. I already know you're right.
We got to.
No, I'm not even. There's no point.
We got to double check.
It was the day before a half day. And the day after was July 3rd, which was a half day because of Independence Day. And I remember Obi was in for you, which he wasn't supposed to be, because you were not planning on being away because you got injured.
That's
double check. You can't. Yeah, we can. We just do it just for sure. I mean, we're not saying that we don't trust you, but sometimes you got to just cross your T's and dot your I's.
Oh, we have 2 minutes to the close. Not right. What? What is even going on here? You're not human. You're a machine. I'm convinced. What's a Deus Ex Machina? That's Adara.
Okay.
He's the first android that can pass the Turing test and is fooling all of us right now. That's what you get. that's what you get. So we're gonna go to it. We're gonna close it because right at 4 o'clock we're expecting Netflix earnings. So I'm gonna pop on over to Netflix. We're gonna go to Adara. As soon as we have anything, Netflix rallied into the close. We'll let you guys know all the details. Let's go to the desk. Close it out with our resident expert on everything who forgets nothing.
Well, that's quite kind of you there, Neil. Strong words. Yeah, very happy to be here with you all to cover NFLX earnings. Just let me get my computer together because I'm closing and opening all the wrong tabs. But we're going to be getting Netflix. If I can open the e-signal, we're going to be pulling up the Netflix chart. Just give me a moment there. We'll just do this one. NFLX. It's going to be coming out here in a couple seconds. Now, we'll pull up the 15-minute chart. I'll switch that to a 1 minute. So what we're going to do here is we're going to wait and see when this report drops. It'll show up here on our feed, and we'll talk about it in terms of what we're expecting here from NFLX. $12.17 billion here for the revenue estimates, and I will pull up on X at TTV Research the other estimates that we were expecting here for EPS, etc. We know the operating margin was pretty weak, like 24.5% last quarter. We're expecting closer to 32% this quarter. I'll pull up this visual so you guys can see, again, everything. We're expecting 76 cents a share. Revenue, as I mentioned, was $12.17 billion. It is set to come out at 4, so we could get it at literally any moment now, because right now it is 3:59 p.m. But guys, thank you so much for being here with us. Ding, ding, ding in a couple seconds here for that bell. NFLX pushing lower. I'm going to have quite a few things open here to check on these earnings. I'm actually going to pull up their investor relations page as well. NFLX dropping sharply. Let's see what I can find here for Netflix. Again, guys, the second I get the info, I'll let you know. Sometimes stuff drops before we kind of, get any kind of number either. But given that we were expecting this to come in at 4, it's very likely that we're going to get something right away. Again, I'm just waiting here for these numbers to come in. As I get more information, I will keep you posted. We dropped here from 107.60s all the way down here to 103.40s. I'm going to let the guys talk about this while I try to pull up the report.
That's what's happening on Netflix. You're back through 105, you're back through 104, 103, maybe headed to 100. I thought I heard in my ear that it was a beat on the bottom, but I don't want to necessarily confirm that because I haven't seen the numbers in particular from Netflix, but it's actually just pulled back only into 2 days ago. So in the grand scheme of things, it's not the biggest move. It's only about 4%. I believe we were looking at 6.9% expected move. Anything under that, and it's not the end of the world. It could just be like the regular maybe rubber band situation, or at least consider the profit taking, and then it catches a bid at that.
Co-founder set to Hastings is set to exit.
Reads out.
Well, he already wasn't a CEO, so that means very little.
I mean, the co-founder, because regardless if it means very little or not.
So what I'm saying is he wasn't a CEO. So EPS, $1.23 per share, beating estimates of 76 cents. Sales, $12.25 billion versus $12.179 billion expected. So that is a double beat here for NFLX. I'm going to see if I can get any more info because I don't have the report yet physically out in front of here. But again, below 100, if I see anything about Hastings, I'll let you know.
Well, now it's really...
It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter what Hastings has.
We just lost a hundo.
It's irrelevant, apparently, at this point. So as for anything, I mean, he's leaving. Aside from that...
He's leaving when his term ends. So basically just as expected.
Okay, so that's fine. I mean, there's a headline about it. We read it. We talk about it. So at the end of the day, the guy's leaving. Is that going to have a massive effect on the stock? Who knows? Look how the price is reacting. You have to dig a little bit more. How is the guy...
Someone's swiping 100 right now. So twice this has now happened. It broke 100, bounced 99. Someone was buying it back up. The second it got over 100, swipe right back into the low. So there's I wish I could tell you there's an aggressive buyer at $100. There's an aggressive seller at $100, and it just broke the 99 level. Hey, there's the back. That's the what was I called? The periscope cam. It goes like up and down. It's super cool. But whatever. We're looking at the screen, so I'll let you guys know that. Whoever that was swiping it, it attempted to buy back in through 100, and you're still finding a tremendous amount of loss. Yeah, it's really, sometimes it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you beat. It doesn't matter top or bottom. They ran heavily into earnings, and now we're just getting a sell-off, and we're past the expected move, Adara.
A a little bit more into this here, again, EPS and revenue, nice healthy beat. EPS 12.25 billion versus 12.17 billion expected. EPS 123 versus 76 cents expected. Net income 5.28 billion. Free cash flow just over $5 billion. Their guidance is going to be an issue across the board. Q2 guidance revenue 12.57 billion versus 12.63 billion expected. EPS 76 cents. It's going to fall short of 84 cents expected. Operating margin guidance for Q2 actually not bad, 32.5%, 32.6%. So again, guidance not so great here, earnings themselves quite strong. So again, the Reed Hastings story, just to get more into this, it's not that he's stepping down or leaving right away. It's just when it comes time for re-election, he's not going to stand for re-election. He is the chair of the board. That's really the only extent to which this might be of interest here. But again, it's not like he's stepping down all of a sudden. He's not a CEO. He is not, like in C-suite or at all. He's just not going to stand for that chairperson of the board re-election whenever that time would come. They're also going to be launching a vertical video discovery feed like TikTok or Instagram Reels at the end of April. Their 2026 free cash flow expected at roughly $12.5 billion. And apparently that'll be aided by the breakup fee they're going to get from that Warner Brothers merger, which did not go through. This is all of the earnings I have at this time. I'm going to see if I can find the report on their investor relations website.
The $2 billion that they got from Warner Brothers, that's the kind of thing that's just directly baked in. The guide, the focus rightfully on the guide there and not looking that great. I think you got a really good move, and this is where we got to get at least a little bit short-term bearish. Like the move technically went as far, pretty much exactly where you would have wanted to go on the weekly chart. And then it was the same thing with the daily chart as well. Like Netflix had gone where you did want it to go. Maybe it pressed a little bit through on the daily, but into sort of obvious resistance. So there's ringing the register happening. If it cannot regain $100, and it's the aftermarket. It's 405.
I wouldn't be surprised if it finds a rebound right here.
Yeah, like you don't want to overreact, but it would be perfectly reasonable to find some buyers that were there early at $100. They can start to win out again, and then we'll care more about can we hold that level tomorrow.
It just almost touched into $100 right there.
There's still some sellers here.
Yeah.
Adara?
Yeah, I thought let's go through this report together because I automatically saw something the second I pulled this up that I thought was really interesting that I want to talk about. So one thing I said with Netflix, I talked about a little bit earlier when I showed the infographics is, they're the type of company that they're actually going to show you their forecast for the next quarter within their overall reports. You can actually get a direct comparison, which I think is really nice. Year-over-year growth for Q2 2026, in addition to that revenue being softer than expected, it's actually going to be a little bit slower. So these last couple quarters, we've had roughly 16, 17% on average growth. Q2, they're only expecting 13.5% year-over-year growth. Operating income marginally higher than the prior quarter is their guidance. Again, operating margin 32.6% is what they're expecting here for that Q2 2026 margin. It's worth noting operating margin for Q1 about what we were expecting, but certainly better than 24.5% back in Q4. Net income, we're expecting quite the drop here in Q2 26 from 5.28 billion this quarter to 3.32 billion next quarter. Diluted EPS, we're also expecting a sequential decline. And again, I like to kind of go through this, and why I like how Netflix does these reports is because a lot of companies have very, hard to read or not super accessible reports. If you're interested in this type of thing, I find Netflix is to be incredibly accessible. Seeing if there's anything else interesting here. They went over, so here's the Reed Hastings stuff. He's not going to be standing for re-election. He just wants to focus on other stuff, but he's happy to have been with Netflix. Obviously, he co-founded it. There we go. That is I think the quick rundown, the Cliffs Notes, if you will, of the NFLX report. But you guys know I love the nitty gritty. I'm going to try to look at the chat the next however many minutes we're here. So if you guys have any questions for me, I'm certainly willing and able and would love to look for it for you.
Yeah, and unfortunately, when we're talking about the price action, it went exactly to $100 on that bounce. Seller's still there. Yeah. So believe me, there was enough buyers that it felt like, okay, this is going to be one of those typical rubber bands. Almost, I want to say it was exactly to $100. And the seller stepped right in. Again, you're still holding the low of the range, but oftentimes when you're talking rubber band trading, or I'm not trading it, I guess some people might, aftermarket on earnings where you have that little liquidity, you get that kind of a bounce, you're sometimes expecting just automatic break and at least retest somewhere back into the void. Now, there's still sellers back in. I think it comes down to understanding how heavy of a buy opportunity it was off of that break and some of these lows and then that local high. So there's a lot that probably needs to cover here, and we can look at that guide and that's, you know, the sequential growth being a decline, quarter over quarter, and some of that revenue. Yeah, I'm going to tell you it makes some sense here, but it would be nice to see us back over that 100 level. I don't know if we have the juice to get there in the next few minutes. Yeah, disappointing for Netflix, but I think you got to put it into perspective. I don't think this was one where
stock was like up 30% off of its
that's
lows.
what I'm saying. Like if you look at the way it made the bottom,
yeah.
Like look at the way that it turned off the bottom. Look at the pullback off of 100.
Yeah.
Those are like really. Look at how consolidation break, clean break, and on news of the Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Like those were the kind of longs that you feel like could have been a little bit crowded going into this, anyways. Which does mean a few more people running to the exit. That's just part. Sometimes that's just how it is, and they can find something to complain about, and then they're going to take it.
It sold off of its last earnings report as well, too.
Well, this is also not uncommon for Netflix.
Yeah, exactly.
If you've been a Netflix shareholder, you kind of get used to the names that do this. What I'm disappointed in is that I was kind of looking for that hit the expected move, don't go any further. You know, go.
Well, I mean, it hit it to the downside.
Do your 7% and don't follow through.
Yeah.
We're down 10 points right now.
Yeah, we're down 10%.
So that's the disappointment. But you know what? It's never a disappointment doing the show for you guys, sticking around for Netflix earnings, good or bad. If you're a Netflix shareholder, you're probably not happy that we're down 9%, but we're happy that you stuck around with us. I want to thank Joe for, quite frankly, putting in a day's worth of work.
So
all day,
pre-market,
at the desk. He's got the options. Of course, he still had the upgrades and downgrades, trading the morning show, the midday, barely even getting a chance to eat. We do an after show as well. Adara with the ridiculous memory. Always questioning it like you do. Thank you, Adara.
Thank you.
Literally remembering when I had surgery 2 years ago. I can't.
Not surgery, but when you heard
when
it
I heard,
initially.
yeah, but I couldn't even tell you that date. It's a gift. It's definitely a gift. Thank you to our viewers. Thank you to Brendan, of course. Thank you to Sean, who should be on a beach somewhere. Hopefully, he should have landed by now, right?
No, he doesn't leave until 6.
I thought he was leaving early.
Yeah. Okay, he doesn't get there until later in the evening.
Well, they're probably at the airport right now, on their way to catch some rays. Shout out to Sharif, of course, Fabian, Andre, Ramin, and thank you, viewers. We'll see you back at 8 o'clock. We're Trader TV Live. Please, Netflix, get back above 100. We can hope so. See you tomorrow.
All right. Ciao, guys.